What's up, Mets fans? Welcome back to Talking Mets with Rob. How is everybody doing on this Thursday? Excuse me. What day is it? I don't even know what day it is anymore. It is a Friday, September 9th. The Mets are in Miami facing the Miami Marlins with 3 games set. David Peterson is on the mound for the Mets as they decided that David Peterson would be pitching again. They're trying to make sense considering the fact that Scherzer is on the IL. And the last time David Peterson pitched for the New York Mets was Friday in the National Series at Citi Field, where he didn't fare pretty well against the Nationals. Even though the Mets won that ball game, he did not pitch necessarily well against a Washington Nationals team, one of the worst teams in the league. So we'll see what he can do in Miami tonight. Mets are in first place. They're 87-51 on the season. 24 games left to go. You guys know the deal. Don't forget to please hit on that like button before we do anything else today so we can get the stream out to more Mets fans, more baseball fans alike for Mets versus Marlins. I'll take you all the way until the end of the game tonight. The game does start at 6:40 tonight, not 7 o'clock. Weird times. When it comes to Miami, tomorrow is the same time at 6:40. I won't be doing the live stream for Saturday and Sunday because, as you may or may not know, I said it in my last couple of streams, I'm doing a little golf trip with my dad in the next couple of days before the weather gets nasty. So we're trying to get a golf round in before the weather gets impossible to play golf in. So with that said, don't forget to please hit on that like button. If you're new to the channel, first time subscriber, please let me know where you're from. And I appreciate that you are a new subscriber. And hopefully you keep on coming back for more. The Braves are in Seattle. They play at 9:40 tonight. They are playing one of the better teams that has been in the second half in the Seattle Mariners. Ever since they made that Luis Castillo trade, they've been on another level. The Mariners pitch very well. They play very good defense. And sometimes that offense cannot score. But when you got really good pitching and really good defense, teams are going to have a hard time scoring against you. And we know, as many Brave fans don't want to admit, they're not very good against teams over 500. And their record, and I double-check this and I triple-check this, they are 27-30 against teams over 500. You know what the Mets are? 10 games better, 37-30. Both have 30 losses, but the Mets have a 10-game difference in wins on teams they face over 500. And that's basically why the Mets have been in first place the entire year, because of that record right there. So what do the Mets got to do? They got to win. If you were hearing me yesterday on Mets Talk Live during the off day, I said, can the Mets win 18 out of the next 24 games? That seems like that's not easy. That's 18-6 over the last stretch of games. But I was even considering, what if 30. That's right. That's my fault. That was a mistake. I didn't add 2 teams in it. 12 more than Atlanta. Exactly 21-28. Thank you so much. That's right. I did read that wrong. I had it right on my paper. Where did I put it? I had it on my paper. You're right. My 39s look like a 37. That screwed me up. But you are right. So what do the Mets have to do? I said if they go 18-6, and I even says, all right, lose 3 games, get swept by the Braves and get swept by the Brewers, but win the other games that you need to win up against bad teams. Or, vice versa. You sweep the Marlins, maybe take 2 out of 3 against the Braves. 18-6 gets the Mets to 105 wins, I think I said yesterday. Let me just do my math a little bit. 18, yes, 105 wins. Would 105 wins get the Mets the NL East title? I think it still would be extremely close, but as I said yesterday on Mets Talk Live, I said, this 10-game stretch for the Mets and this 9-game stretch for the Phillies. The Mets have the Marlins away. They come back home to play the Cubs for 3 and Pittsburgh for 4. That's a 10-game stretch. And the Braves play Seattle for 3, the Giants for 3 on the West Coast, and they come back home to play 3 against Philadelphia, who they haven't been playing well against. So the 9-game stretch for the Braves and 10-game stretch for the Mets over the next week and a half, I think will determine who has a comfortable lead in the NL East. After those 10 games, there's only about 13, 14 games to go, depending on if it's the Braves or the Mets schedule. So I think the Braves are going to have a hard time on the West Coast, especially against Seattle. I would not be shocked if they lose 2 out of 3. I would be very shocked if they win that series, because I think Seattle is a team that I think the Braves might take a little lightly, and I do think Seattle is the team that can actually take care of the Braves, because the Braves all year haven't played well against good teams. When they face teams with good pitching, they struggle. And when they don't hit home runs, they don't score a lot of runs, and that's when teams take advantage of them. Again, they've had one of the best records in baseball since June 1st, but if you look around, I think it's around 82, 83 games, basically a half a season, there's about 60 of those games against teams under 500. So they played a lot of bad teams, and now they're facing a stretch. And I don't care what anybody says. When you go on the West Coast in September, it's never easy, especially a Seattle team who is still trying to fight for seeding in that wild card top 3 teams. They're going to be playing for something. The Giants, even though they might be somewhat technically out of it, not numerically, but technically they're out of it, they are a team that can still pitch, and they're about 6 or 7 games over 500 at home. So they're not easy to play at home. And then, again, the Braves come back home to Atlanta to face the Phillies, who they have trouble with this year. And the Phillies are vying for a playoff spot. There's no guarantee that the Phillies will make the playoffs. So they'll be fighting for a lot. So they got a lot on the line as well. So they got 2 out of the next 3 series, the Braves, where they got teams that are fighting for wild card positioning in the 3 seeds that is the wild card. So they got teams that have to win to keep their place in the wild card seedings. And again, the Giants are better at home than on the road, and they do have good pitching. So it's not going to be an easy road for the next 9 games for the Atlanta Braves. Even though every Brave fan wants to tell you that they're better than everybody, right? But that's on paper. And I don't care what anybody says. Until you have a better record than the team you're chasing, you are not the better team. Yes, if you want to go play Stratomatic baseball with me, let's go. I'm ready. Because we don't play baseball on paper. We play baseball on the field. If it was only based on who's the better team on paper, then why do we even play the games, right? It doesn't make sense. So with that said, what do the Mets got to do? The Mets got to beat up on a bad team in the Miami Marlins. Very simple, very straightforward. There's no tricks about it. It's very simple. Win. Beat the bad teams. There's no excuses for the Mets anymore. I don't care that Scherzer is on the IL. You got, for the most part, a healthy team besides Marte. He might not be back. Who knows when that's going to happen. But we still got Tyler Naquin, who's been hot, who's looked good the last couple of games in Pittsburgh. So we'll see if he can do that. He is hitting behind Alonso tonight, so that's very interesting. It's a very interesting lineup shakeup for the Mets and Buck Showalter. We'll go look at that in a little bit. But once again, guys, we got 38 in the pregame right now, so don't forget to please hit on that like button. It's important to hit on that like button early, so when we get into the game, I don't have to bombard you with the like button comment over and over and over and over again. So let's look. We'll do this early. The game starts at 6:40 tonight. Yes, it's a little different start time in Miami, but that's what we're doing, and it's a little earlier, which is nice for me since I have to go to work. So it's always nice to get a little bit of an earlier start for the Mets game. Ken, I know you've been doing it. Again, I'm not somebody that goes on a stream and trolls anybody. I don't like to do that. Even before I had a YouTube channel, I just don't. It's not who I am. I never been like that. But if you come into my stream and you troll, you will get backlash. It's just very simple. So let's go through the lineup. I'll put up game day. We'll go through the pitcher matchup. We'll go through the lineup, talk about the lineup for a little bit, and then I'll get to all your questions and concerns and comments with the lineup, with the games, with the series, whatever you want to do. So don't mind that scrolling little channel icon. That is the new little channel icon that just keeps on spinning that says subscribe, and just showing my channel logo just for a little promo. So, and Ken, I know you like to have fun. All right, so I'm going to share my screen right now. Just give me 1 second. All righty, let me just make it look all pretty for everybody. And of course, I didn't put that one thing that I wanted to put, but give me 1 second, and I'll be right with you so I can make it a little bit more pleasing to the eye when we look at the game day and everything we need to look at for that. All right, so there you go. And of course, I forgot to put the Marlins there, so we're going to take that out for a second. What a day. All right, give me 1 second, guys. Let me just fix my mistakes, and we'll get right to it. So give me 1 second. Alrighty. Of course, I make it difficult for myself. Just give me a second, guys. Don't mind me. Nobody's paying attention to me right now. I'm not live. Alrighty. Let's see. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Working on the fly here. But that's the fun part, I guess, right? Just give me a second, guys. Let me just make it look all pretty. I got to fix up my mistake. You see what happens when you think you got everything ready to go and it bites you in the ass. But that's live television, everybody. Hopefully you enjoy this. Give me a second and give me about 2 more minutes. Hopefully everybody sticks around and doesn't leave. All righty. Of course, I had to make that stupid mistake, but you know what? That's life, right? Just give me a second. I just got to make my little background looking all somewhat decent, and then we'll get right to it. So you can watch me look like I know what I'm doing, which clearly I don't, but that's okay. I never said I was a genius. All right. So don't forget, guys, please hit on that like button. I know I give you nothing to press that like button for right now, but we will get it done because that's what we do here on Talking Mets and Raw, right? We go with the flow. We work on the fly. All right. I think everything should be in order now. Boy. Okay. I think I got it, guys. Give me 1 second. Oh, this is lovely. I mean, where do you get this anywhere else, right? This is beautiful. Hey, there we go. Look at that. It looks normal. How about that? Alrighty, guys, we're back. All right, yeah, the blue uniforms. The now Major League Baseball put only 3 uniforms in total that a team can carry. So the Mets have the gray uniforms, the pinstripe uniforms. Oh, I think it's 4. Excuse me, 4. The blue home, the pinstripe white, the black jerseys, and the regular gray road jerseys. So that's why you don't see the blue gray jerseys, which was one of the cool ones. I like it with the New York. But Major League Baseball only allows you to carry 4 jerseys now. So that's why you only see those. You don't see the blue road jerseys. All right. So now that we actually look like we have a channel and looking everything's pretty, President, I'm not streaming tomorrow or Sunday. I am doing a golf trip with my dad. All right. So here we go. Let's see. All right, so here we go. So for the pitching matchup tonight, guys, obviously Mets versus Marlins at Lone Depot Park in Miami, Florida. 6:40 start. It is Friday, September 9th. David Peterson on the mound, 7-3 record, 3.32 ERA with 110 strikeouts going against Edward Cabrera, 4-2, 2.39 ERA. Got an electric arm with 55 strikeouts. And your lineups for tonight for our New York Mets is this against Edward Cabrera. Brandon Nimmo leading off, playing center field. Francisco Lindor batting second, playing shortstop. Jeff McNeil finally at the top of the lineup, batting third, playing second base. Cleaning up, Pete Alonso playing first base. Tyler Naquin with his hot bat, playing right field, batting fifth. Mark Canha left field, batting sixth. Daniel Vogelback, DHing, batting seventh. I love him batting way down in the order. What I don't like is Escobar batting 8, playing third base. I think he should move up. I think you have Vogelback in the 8 spot, but I think he wants to mix up the lefties a little, mix up the hot and cold bats. I think he might get a little bit more strikes for Vogelback. That's why with Escobar being hot and Tomas Nido catching bat at night. So that is your lineup for our New York Mets and for the Miami Marlins against David Peterson, John Birdie, third base, the speedster playing first base. Excuse me. Brian Anderson, right field, batting second. Gary Cooper, first base, batting third. Avisail Garcia, DH, and batting fourth. Nick Fortes, catching, batting fifth. Miguel Rojas, the veteran, batting sixth, playing shortstop. Charles LeBlanc, second base, batting seventh. Gerard Encarnacion, left field, batting eighth. And Brian De La Cruz, center field, batting ninth for the Miami Marlins against David Peterson. So that is your lineup for the New York Mets and the Miami Marlins. And as you know, the records for both teams, 87-51, first place Mets, and the 56-80 Miami Marlins, who are in fourth place in the National League East. So, what else should we need to know? The keys of the game. What are the keys of the game for our New York Mets? It's been the same thing. Excuse me. What did I do there? All right, here we go. It's been the same thing every single time when we talk about what are the keys to the game for our New York Mets. Very simple. Work the counts, frustrate the pitcher, increase their pitch count, put the bat on the ball, let the defense make mistakes, cause havoc on the base paths. Not talking about stealing bases, taking that extra base when you can. Working the counts. It's the same thing with the Mets. When the Mets are successful and they're winning games, they do exactly that. And you'll notice it very quickly in the first inning. The Marlins did win yesterday against the Phillies, so they snapped their 9-game losing streak. I'm a little happy that they did. I didn't want them to go into the Mets series on a 10-game losing streak because there's some way or another they're bound to win eventually. So I'd rather them get that win, and I'm a little happy about that so we can worry about what is most important, and that is the Mets playing Mets baseball. When they do that, they have a pretty damn good chance to win. And I do expect – now, could we say that the Mets broke out in Pittsburgh? The offenses come alive? I'm not going to necessarily say that. They were facing bad pitching. It was nice to see them explode for 10 runs in the second game. They broke out in the first game in the doubleheader, but I don't want to say, the bats are flying on all cylinders, because that's just not true. It's just not. I'm going to be realistic. I'm going to tell you guys the truth. I don't think the bats are necessarily hot. I do think Escobar is heating up because he showed it over the last 2 weeks that he's been hitting up. And when it comes to other players in the lineup, Alonso's still struggling a little bit. He's still flailing out, being out in front of a lot of off-speed pitches. So you know what they're going to throw him. They're going to throw him a lot of sliders because that's his weakness. Throw a ball a little bit over letter high. When he's struggling, he chases those pitchers, including the slider on the outside corner. That Lindor looked like he started to get out of it a little bit, but he's still struggling. Jeff McNeil is finally at the top of the order, which is helping because even though he's been one of the better hitters for the Mets, he has been struggling as well. But putting him in front of Pete Alonso, putting him at the top of the order, I think is only going to help this Mets lineup as well. And I do like the fact that Lindor is batting second because he will get pitches to hit, especially with McNeil behind him. And it's very simple. The Mets got to get it going early in the game. You want the Marlins to not want to be in the ballpark. Very simple. You saw what happened when the Mets scored runs early against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh looked like they're already making reservations at a restaurant in downtown Pittsburgh. They looked like they were just disinterested. They didn't want to be there. That's what the Mets have to do. The Mets have to keep their heads on the water. Don't even give them a chance to take a breath. That's exactly what they have to do. Pounce on this team early. We know with the Marlins, there's one thing that they always have, even when they're a bad team. They got good pitching, and that's exactly what we're facing. We're getting Luzardo in the last game. We get Lopez tomorrow, and we got Cabrera today. They got good pitching. So their pitching can shut any offense down. They've shut down plenty of good offenses during this season. The problem is after their starters come out, sometimes their bullpen gives it up or they can't hit as well. So that's the same thing what the Mets have to continue to do what they have done all year. It's why they're one of the best teams in baseball, because they have been so consistent in getting pitchers out of the game early and making teams use their bullpen arms, the guys that you usually don't want to use in a fifth inning or fourth inning or even sixth inning of a game. You have to use a lot more pitches, and not only does it help you in that game, but it helps you in the rest of the series. We've seen the Mets do that a lot, and I think they can continue to do that. And I do like the breakout of scoring in the last two games in the doubleheader against Pittsburgh, but I'm not going to get overly crazy saying they broke out offensively. Yes, they did, but they also faced bad pitching. You're not facing bad pitching, especially the starters against the Marlins. You're going to face good pitches with lively arms. It's not going to be easy. That's why when people say, the Mets can beat the Marlins, no problem. Yeah, they're a better team, obviously. But they do have really good pitching, and that sometimes can shut down any lineup. But I think if you get to a good pitcher early, it messes up their whole flow. It messes up the team. The team's going to start pressing a little bit, putting the ball in play, letting the Marlins make the play. We've seen that when the Mets play the Phillies. We even see that in the Braves series when the Mets face them at times. When you put the ball in play, you put the pressure on the defense to make that play. You lost 30. You're 27-30, my friend Delmar. Look it up. 27-30 against teams over 500. The Mets are 12 games better, 39-30. That's the difference in the division right there. Again, you have problems against really good teams. It's a fact. I know nobody wants to admit it, and you Brave fans seem like you don't, but it's obviously a fact. You guys had trouble against good teams, and it's been throughout the entire season, even when the Braves have been one of the hottest teams in baseball since June 1st. And it's basically why the Mets are in first place and why they've been in first place the entire year. And again, the Braves can look on paper better, but they're not better than the Mets record-wise. I don't want to continue to say that, but it's a fact. You're not better than the team. You know what? You can say the Tampa Bay Rays are a better team than the Yankees because, well, they've had a better record in the second half than the Yankees, right? On paper, the Yankees should be better than the Rays, but necessarily, can you really say they are? Well, at the moment, they are because their record said so. It's very simple. Does everybody think that any other team, does anybody think the Cleveland Indians are better than the Minnesota Twins if you look at just the paper? No, but the Cleveland Indians are because they have a better record. That's the only thing that matters. And it only matters during the season. But I can guarantee you, if the Braves were in first place, they would be like, oh, we're in first place. The Mets suck. The Mets collapse. And then they won't say a damn thing that, oh, we'll see you in the playoffs. Because they don't care about that until they lose the division, right? They're in second place right now. So the only thing they can say is, oh, we'll see you in October. That's when it matters. I agree. But facts are facts. You are 27-30 against teams over 500. Check it out. I can assure you Baseball Reference has it, MLB.com has it, ESPN has it, CBS Sports. Anybody you want to go to, you can do it. You can find that information out. I actually gave the Mets 2 less wins with teams over 500. I said 37-30. That was my mistake. I actually wrote it down. I just wasn't looking. 39-30, the Mets are over 500. That's a big gap between two teams that are projected to easily make the playoffs and do damage in the playoffs. So, once again, during that June 1st to today, the Braves have has the best record in baseball. But they've had a hard time beating good teams. And they're not the same team on the road as well against good teams. They're below 500 on the road against good teams as well. So, it's very, very possible. And as I said, I think this 10-game stretch that the Mets have, Marlins, Cubs, Pirates, and the Braves, Seattle, San Francisco, Philadelphia. That's a 9-game stretch for the Braves and a 10-game stretch for the Mets. I believe and this is being 100% honest, this stretch is probably going to determine who is going to have a comfortable, not winning the division outright, but a comfortable lead going into the last week and a half of the season, the last 2 weeks of the season, I should say, because it's like 13 or 14 games, depending if it's the Mets or the Braves. It's a tough stretch. No matter how good your team is, going on the West Coast in September is never fun. Ex the Mets, they were there last year. They had a West Coast trip in late August into early September. Them West Coast trips suck. I don't care how good you are. Nobody wants to go on, especially if you're an East Coast team. And let's be honest, the Braves and the Mets are the furthest from the California coast. So those trips absolutely suck. And on top of that, Seattle is a very good team, and the Braves are going to have a hard time with them. Can they win the series? Absolutely. They're good enough to do so. There's no doubt about that. But Seattle is also playing for seeding in a wild card seeding as well. They're trying to position themselves into a good seed in the wild card as well. The Giants are a little further from the playoff hype. Okay, so if the Dodgers didn't try against the Mets, why did they set up their rotation specifically with all left-handers with 3 of their starting pitchers when they know the Mets struggle against left-handed pitching? So they did try. So if they didn't try, then they should have set Mookie Betts. They should have set everybody else that's actually good on that team. They didn't try. Okay, that's cute. Well, it's been, yes, Joe, that's true. The kryptonite have been the Marlins in years past, but this year, the Mets dominated the Marlins. Again, September Marlins against the Mets in years past, absolutely. But this year, the Marlins has been no contest for the Mets. The Mets have been absolutely dominant against the Marlins this year. Okay, that's one, and that was the one game you won. Congratulations. Well, Delmar, if you go 500 on that West Coast trip, you better hope the Mets don't go 8-2 or 7-3 on that on their 10-game stretch, because that means you'll be out in second place by 3.5 games. Now, don't get me wrong, 500 on that West Coast trip, I think is a good trip, because it's not an easy trip at all. It's really not. It's honestly fair. I don't care who you're playing. Oakland is Oakland. They're garbage. We all know that. And you almost, again, going out to the West Coast is just not easy. It's just fair. I don't care who you're playing. It's a tough trip. They almost blew that lead to Oakland in that first game when you had a 6-run lead. You didn't. You took care of business. But let's be fair. West Coast trips suck, especially late in the season, especially for a team about the West Coast. Let's see. I'm worried about Clayton Kershaw actually having no back problem in the playoffs too. Congratulations on your 2020 half a season world championship. At least the Braves won a real championship. Yeah, your boy. Listen, I said the same thing. I did not want the Marlins going into the Mets series on a 10-game losing streak. That's just a disaster waiting to happen, to be honest with you. So I'm glad they won yesterday against the Phillies in a nice little fashion in the 9th. That was pretty and nice, but at the end of the day, look, the Mets this year dominated the Marlins. Like Joe said, the kryptonite for the Mets in years past have been the Marlins in big spots in September when the Mets needed wins. The Marlins basically stomped on their hopes. But again, I think that that was teams that I don't know if you want to say if they're bad pitching, whatever it was. The Mets choked in that situation. There's no doubt about that. But history does not matter when you have basically a full veteran team along with a guy like Buck Showalter, who's not going to let this team spiral out of control. Once again, the Mets and the Braves. Well, of course, hype. You're only going to show up when the Mets lose. That's a bandwagon fan. That's cute. That's okay. Where were you when I was live streaming when the Mets were beating the Dodgers? You were nowhere to be found. You were probably on the stream just, watching from above, and you don't want to chat. But again, nobody, and Delmar, he's one of the guys that show up as a Braves fan. He shows up when they lose, he shows up when they win. He shows up when on my stream all the time. Hype, I'm not going to lie. if you have been on the stream and you chatted and I missed it, that's on me. But when the Dodgers were losing to the Mets, and I don't care, what about you take a split of the series in LA when we had no Marte, no McNeil, no Scherzer, and no DeGrom? You couldn't beat backups to the Mets. I'm sorry. The Dodgers are one of the best teams in baseball. But until you realize that your division is not as good as they were last year, and on top of that, I know you're new. Of course you're new. I can tell. Because if you were a subscriber for a while, you would know how fair I am, not only to your team, but the Braves as well. I think anybody can tell you there's Dodger fans here, there's Braves fans here, there's Philly fans here. They know that I'm one of the most down the middle and respectful and truthful about other teams that even I can't stand, because I can't stand the Dodgers, I can't stand the Braves. But I'm one of those people that can tell you that I know the Dodgers are a really good team, but the Dodgers have flaws just as well. You know, Kimbrel's finally something coming around until his new little Frozen song started to play when he came out to make a save. He's been better. He's been a problem. Will he be a problem in the playoffs? Who knows? But the Braves also have a problem with closer with Kenley Jansen. You know, the Mets, the Braves, the Dodgers are all the best teams in the NL, but they all have flaws. And let's be honest, the Dodgers have problems with their health in the rotation as well. And let's be honest, you don't got a very young team either. You got a couple of guys you're trusting in your everyday lineup that is, you know, old as well. The Mets as well. That's the problem with the Mets and the Dodgers when it comes to that. You know, you have, you know, Kershaw considering might be your actually game one starter in the playoffs. That's a guy with a back problem, just like Scherzer with his oblique or his dead arm. I think DeGrom is going to be healthy because the injury he had was a bone issue, and when the bone heals, you're basically 100%. He has no ligament issues or soft tissue problems, so I think he's going to be fine. Scherzer, on the other hand, I have no idea. But you know what the Mets have that the Dodgers and even the Braves really don't have? You know who's been one of the best pitchers in the Mets rotation all year? Chris Bassett. That guy's a sleeping giant, and I don't know why everybody is just passing him over. Everybody talks about DeGrom and Scherzer. Chris Bassett can shut down any lineup. He's already proven it a couple of times this year, and he's been one of our better pitchers all year. You know what? When DeGrom and Scherzer were not in this rotation, he was the one that was picking up the rotation when there was nobody in it, when Trevor Williams was in, when freaking Zapucki made a start, when guys like Carrasco wasn't pitching well and Walker wasn't pitching well. Guess who was the one that was holding it down? Chris Bassett. So before everybody talks about DeGrom and Scherzer, you have to remember the Mets' depth in their rotation is a lot better than anybody else that can be thrown out there, to be honest with you. You know, if Soroka comes back for the Braves, now we can talk about the Braves rotation. But again, can you expect a guy who hasn't pitched in almost 2.5 years? Can you trust him going into the last 2 weeks of the season or even the playoffs that you're going to think he's going to perform good? And even if he does, how many pitches he's going to throw? That's the other thing you have to look at as well. Yeah, I don't trust Dustin May, to be honest with you. He's got electric stuff, but he's coming off of a huge injury, and he's just coming back, and he's on limits as well. So he's got to be careful. And I can assure you right now, Bassett is better than May at this given moment. Not stuff-wise, but Bassett always finds a way to go deep into a game and always finds a way to keep his team in the game, and he's done that all year. Before that little stretch in, I believe it was June, where he struggled a little bit, everything else, he's been excellent. So, and, am I going to sit here and say that the Mets bullpen is better than the Braves or the Dodgers? No, I'm not stupid. I'm realistic. But if you look at where the Mets bullpen is compared to all the playoff teams that at this moment are playoff teams, they're one of the top. They're top 5 in baseball when it comes to the playoff teams as a whole. They have a little bit, and I'm counting the core guys, not the guys that come up and down through the minors. I'm talking about if you look through the Braves, the Dodgers, the Astros, everybody that's in the playoffs at the moment, they're 5th out of all the playoff teams in bullpen ERA. So
Not saying that I trust our middle relief, because I don't. I don't trust Trevor May. I don't trust Ottavino. I somewhat trust Lugo, but not a lot. A lot of people can't wait for Tyler McGill. I'm still into that wait and see mode. This guy haven't been healthy since May, so I don't know what to think of him. If he's healthy, we know he's got good stuff, but can he come into a pressure situation and get the job done? We will see. The same thing with David Peterson. If everybody's healthy in the Mets rotation, Peterson is probably going to be our other lefty in the bullpen. Who knows if that's going to help the bullpen or not? I never know. Well, yeah, Joe, that's fine. But again, going into a division race in the end of the year, nobody knows how Soroka is going to be in a big spot. I think he's your best pitcher. There's no doubt about it. His stuff, he is an ace in the making. But being out for 2 years is not easy to get thrown into a division race, into the playoffs. It's not easy. So as much as his stuff is good and he's thrown 80 pitches, which is really nice to see, because I never want to see anybody healthy on anybody injured on any team. He still has to prove to stay healthy. On top of that, be productive. Because if he's not, you're just gonna have him out there because of his name. Which who wouldn't? Soroka is Soroka. He's an excellent pitcher. Yeah, I think Max. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the fatigue factor, the struggling factor. Look, I don't think Scherzer is as dominant as everybody's making it out to be. Well, hype. That's one thing I agree with you with. The Braves are 27-30 against over 500 teams, and they're still not done facing over 500 teams. And again, their stretch since June 1st, they played 86 games since that, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. They played about almost 60 games against subpar 500 teams. Again, you have to beat the teams that's on your schedule. That's not an excuse. But when they face really good teams, or good teams for that matter, with decent to solid or great pitching, they struggle. That's one thing me and Hype agree with. I agree with you about that. As much as I critique the Braves and the Dodgers, don't get me wrong. If you follow my channel for a long time, if you want to go back, if you have the time, I've killed the Mets. Last year, I even killed Buck Showalter about a week ago about that National Series, what the hell he was doing in that game with a 1-run lead, bringing in Adonis Medina, made no sense. The lineup construction was a little weird to me. I criticized my team more than anybody else. Braves fans, Dodger fans, Philly fans don't have to criticize my team or talk bad about them. I have no problem doing that myself. So don't think you're hurting my feelings that you're talking bad about the Mets, because I do enough of it. I criticize them enough. I got Met fans that kill me all the time that I'm too negative about the team. McGill should be back probably, if not the end of the Marlins series, probably the first series at home. So against the Cubs, most likely. And Luis Guillermo, I think he's still about a week away. So you might see him in the Pirates series. So with that said, guys, we got 2 minutes until game time. So as always, don't forget to hit on that like button and listen up. Make sure you can hear the broadcast from wherever you are listening to the stream. As always, game day is on, and the TV audio, I believe, I don't know if it's Gary, Keith, or Ron, or just Gary and Keith, or Gary and Ron. I believe it's Gary and Keith in this one, but we will see. Miami Marlins against the Mets in Miami. Peterson versus Pereira. Mets got to see if they can continue that hot streak of that offense that we've seen in Pittsburgh. Again, I'm not going crazy that they broke out because they didn't face good pitching, but maybe it gives them a little bit more confidence standing in the plate, holding the bat, because confidence is everything when you're up at the plate. So here we go. Let's go Mets. Marlins about to go down right now. Here we go. Game day's coming up. Volume is coming up just now. Let me know in the comments, guys, if you can hear the stream. Just give me 1 second. There we go. Can you guys hear the stream? I'm sorry. Can you hear the broadcast?
Buck is out there first game of the series, as he always is. Why do you feel when Buck goes out there that the umpires have a surprise quiz at some point on some topic? Well, we have our first light.
Alrighty, it sounds good. And happy football season. The lights are going out at Lone Depot for the Marlins to come out, which is kind of cool.
even though it's City Field South today at Lone Depot Park.
Now, if they just open the roof every once in a while, we'd be just fine. But they never.
So once again, guys, please hit on that like button. Mets Marlins about to start in a few minutes. It's going to be past 6:40 before game time, so we will see.
Lights like this would come out, Donna Summer would come on. Bad girl. No, last dance. Last dance. Oh, time to go, Keith. Everybody running for the exits. I'll get a count. Queen of disco.
Just waiting for the Marlins to take the field.
It's 6:41. What time does
They're a
the
little
6:40
late
start?
for game time start, so
Come to the home team. Pitcher. There they go.
the new rules don't kill me too much, and the Marlins are coming onto the field.
But in the NFL, that they say that the kickoff is at 101, the kickoff is at 101.
I do like the new rules. I don't like the big bases. I think that's stupid. But I do like the shifting that's basically gone. The batter is only allowed to leave the batter's box just once in an at bat, which I like. The pitch clock is pretty cool. A lot of guys take longer than 15 or 20 seconds, so it's going to be very interesting to see. The bases, I'm not a fan of. I think it's kind of high school baseball, softball-ish, but I guess they're doing it for injury purposes because a lot of guys are not going to get picked off as much anymore since the bases are bigger. I heard Marlin Ballpark is nice too. I haven't been there yet. Lone Depot Park. All right, so the pitcher's on the mound warming up. 6:40 was start time, but it did not start on time. Go figure. So it's on your screen, guys. Please hit on that like button if you haven't as of yet. I have not been to Marlins Park yet.
Pandemic year of 2020, but things have been fairly off the rails since then. Oh, look, this is how we're going to show you the starting lineups. You got your glasses. You can read that, Terry. Sure, no problem. You got Nimmo, Lindor, McNeil hitting third tonight with Marte still out of the lineup. Alonso back in the cleanup spot. Naquin, Canna, Vogelback.
Just waiting for the game to start. 2 minutes late so far. Once again, guys, the pitching matchup and the Mets lineup is on the bottom of your screen scrolling. If you missed the lineups earlier when I said it, it's on the bottom of your screen. Manuel, I already bought my playoff strip. Re-up season tickets for 2023, which gave me the option to get postseason tickets. So I'm in, baby, I'm in. Here we go. First pitch coming up. Let's go, Mets.
His 10th start of 2022. His first pitch is on the outside corner for a strike to Nimmo, and we're underway. Brandon at 265, 351 on base percentage. He's now in the top 10 in the National League in runs scored for the first time this season. And takes the sinker out of the strike zone, and it's 1-1. Lindor and McNeil to follow. 83.
I don't think so, Aaron.
3 runs scored for Nimmo. He's taken over the club lead.
Come on, Brandon.
Lindor. First breaking ball in for a strike, and it's 1-2. 17 runs to 100.
I agree more. That West Coast trip is not easy at the end of the year, man. That's a rough trip no matter who you play. And you playing a good team in Seattle. It's going to be a rough one. Nimmo right to the shift. 1 out.
The play is made by LeBlanc, the second baseman. 1 out. And the defense of the Marlins could have. Come on, graphics. There you are. Catholic Health. Marlin infield defense. Nick Fortes behind the plate. John Birdie, third base. Rojas, always a nice fine fielding shortstop.
Let's get it done.
Wasn't in the lineup last time. We're here on the IL. He's at first base. Neither was the right fielder Brian Anderson. Well, he's back. Here's Francisco Lindor, moved up to the 2-hole today, and a couple of doubles and 3 RBIs in Wednesday night's game in Pittsburgh. Back into the double.
All right, Lindor's batting second today.
And he takes a knee on a breaking ball for a strike, 0-1. Not quite a full shift against Lindor. Most teams do shift against Francisco batting left-handed.
Well, Steven, the problem with that is the Mets desperately need another arm in that pen. That's why McGill is setting up to be in the pen, not the starting rotation.
When it's not, he gives up a lot of home runs on that pitch. That's drilled down the right.
Dora hits it foul.
That's 1-2.
Well, Ronnie mentioned that Cabrera had 3 starts against the Mets, and I remember one year where he didn't get out of the 3rd inning. Around there, he was just nothing but breaking balls. But he seems to be throwing a little bit of fastballs here early, maybe a little change.
Oh,
Here's the shift. Enjoy it while you can. 1-2 coming. And that slider misses high, and it's 2-2.
You know, Keith, I remember that start he had here. You were commenting that you couldn't believe a young guy. They had him throwing primarily breaking balls the entire game with that kind of arm. Yeah.
That's poked to the shortstop.
Ground ball should be an out, and it is 2 outs.
2 out. So Cabrera's retired the first 2 on ground balls. He was out for about 7 weeks with elbow tendonitis. He's been back for about a month. And in that month, since coming off the injured list, his earned run average is 1.89. So he has really gotten it in gear. So here's McNeil, moved into the 3 spot.
All right, Jeff McNeil.
And a 3-hit, 2 RBI game Wednesday night, up to 318 on the season.
Hey, how you doing?
3rd in the National League in batting.
That is a high pitch. That looked like in the strike zone, but called it a ball.
Here's your Ford leaderboard, 10 points behind Paul Goldschmidt for the league lead.
I like McNeil. I've mentioned it before. In the 3-hole, I think he's an ideal 3rd hitter.
Come on, Jeff, let's go.
Before the game, we had our
We will see, Manuel, if Pete can get it done.
series meeting with Buck every time, and Buck says that he doesn't want to.
Yeah, Nimmo's been not taking a lot of pitches lately, which has been frustrating.
Injuries, Marte out. Be on the 3rd spot. I hope he takes to it. I think it would be a plus for this team.
Buck said quite surprisingly.
Mets got 2 outs in the first. Jeff McNeil
Yes.
batting 3rd today, up at the plate.
And the
12
reason
pitches
why
for
we don't
Cabrera
shock
so
him,
far.
He thinks that Jeff feels there's a shift. Jeff feels he gets better pitches to hit in the 8-hole. Getting protected by the 9th hitter.
That seemed to make a lot of sense. Shift on with 2 strikes. He's hitting .366 against the shift this year, best in the majors. You know, with the shift going away, I don't know whether that helps or hurts a guy like McNeil, who has done such a great job of exploiting.
Looks like
shift.
Guillermo could be back sometime next week in the homestand.
With Jeff, Gary, I think that if you take away the left side of the infield, and you leave open the 1st and 2nd hole, particularly with a runner on first, Jeff will exploit that.
1-2 from Cabrera, and the breaking ball flat.
Neil
out to
pops
left,
it
and
up.
Encarnacion started back. Now comes
And
up.
ends the inning in the top of the first. The Mets go down 1-2-3 in the top of the first. Peterson coming on the mound for the bottom of the first. So with that said, guys, you got 80 in the stream right now. Please, if you're just tuning in, don't forget to hit on that like button. The Mets went 1-2-3 in the inning. Yeah, I mean, there's about, I would say, 2,000 fans, to a couple thousand fans, and, majority Mets fans. So, again, the Marlins never draw. It's obvious, even with the new ballpark. I mean, I know it's not in the most pleasant area in the world, in Little Havana, which is, it's right there, South Beach and all that. But, there ain't nothing around that ballpark, considering it's in, where do they always build big stadiums? In poor neighborhoods, unfortunately. But it is a nice ballpark. But again, Florida has never been known to pick up on professional sports for the most part. Football, even the Jaguars don't draw. The only team that draws, can you say the Buccaneers draw? Yeah, but only when they win. And, besides the Miami Dolphins, other than that, nobody draws professionally. It's mostly a college town, a college state for the most part. They can get 100,000 in Florida State or in Gainesville or Miami in the U, in, all those other big time schools. It's, Central Florida, all those schools, they draw, and get easily 100,000 against the worst teams in the league in college against their home team. So we'll see. All right, here we go. Bottom of the first, David Peterson on the mound. No score in the first inning in Miami.
Happy.
That's as good as it gets. He's playing the drums.
starting lineup for the Marlins. Magdalene John Birdie at the top of the order. Gerard Encarnacion, who had a debut to remember against the Mets when he had a grand slam at Citi Field. He's near the bottom of the order. It's been a rough year for the Marlins offensively, second to last in the league in scoring, and David Peterson will try and keep them down for a third time this year.
Clear the numbers for Peterson. The Mets coming off that shutout in Game 2. Their 18th shutout of the season, 8 shutouts last year. He started 3 games against.
All right, so first pitch going to happen from Peterson in just a second.
John Birdie leads off. Birdie was hurt the last time the Mets.
First pitch swinging, and he missed it.
He's got a .336 lifetime batting average against the Mets, second among active players, only to Corey Seager. Peterson keeps the fastball away, and it's 1-1. Birdie making his 70th start. He's missed a bunch of time with some little injuries. Brian Anderson on deck.
All right, nice pitch. Peterson looks like his problem against the Nationals last time he pitched, which was about a week ago, he couldn't locate his fastball. When he locates his fastball, his breaking ball is the key to striking out batters. Right now, first couple of pitches, he looks good with his fastball. And he strikes him out on the slider. 1 out. There we go.
Peterson with that signature back foot slider to get him for the first down.
Well, he's got the tools to eliminate hitters. That was more of a back door, not that down and in breaking ball, but mistimed by Birdie.
So 1 out of no in. Now Brian Anderson. It's been a rough year for Anderson, hitting just .229. We got him in right field these days.
1 out, no score.
Played third base. He's played left field. He played third base a few years ago.
Yep.
And had a great year playing out there. Really strong arm, covered along the ground of the outfield.
He's one of those guys that's very talented, but just can't stay on the field. He's always been injury prone. And he's had his injuries this year once again.
And he's been a mainstay for the Marlins, but he's never developed into the kind of star.
His fastball is a little bit up, 94, 96. Like to see that.
Taken outside by Anderson, too, like Gary Cooper on deck. The Marlins just snapped a 9-game losing streak last night in Philadelphia, and they had to come from behind in the 9th inning to do that. Helped out by a little bit of shoddy Phillies defense. No, seriously. I mean, Reese Hoskins let a ball go right under his glove and brought in the tying run.
I saw it.
You're messing with me, aren't you?
I saw it.
I'm sure you did. 2 runs or fewer in 20 of their last 34 games. Hard to win that way, even with great pitching.
That was a nice slider, but Anderson took that. That was a nice take by Anderson.
The Braves start a series in Seattle tonight, so that's a late start. It started 9:40 Eastern time. We'll have Charlie Morton going up against former Cy Young Award winner Robbie Ray in Seattle.
And he walks him. So his fastball got a little bit wild in that second at bat. Not what you want to see.
You gave Jerry 2 runs or less than 20 out of 34. Mattingly probably had a stretch in his day where he drove in 2 at 20 out of 34.
Maybe he's activated something.
Well, the Mets have a chance now with the Braves on the West Coast to start a game early to put up a W as the Braves take BP.
Yeah, well, you said that on Tuesday night. It didn't work out.
Well, sometimes you can't win them all here.
Here's Gary Cooper. Cooper's been in an ungodly slump. He was hurt when the Mets.
All right, got to be careful about him saying that. He's been in a really bad slump.
Mets at Citi Field. That was back on July the 8th.
Last home on July 8th. That's scary.
He is 12 for 100 with no homers and 3 RBIs. Skies this one out to center. And back onto the warning track. Yeah, and it's out of here.
Shut up, Gary. Amazing. Amazing. Come on, Gary. Why did you jinx it? Oh, my God.
He takes Peterson deep, and he gives the Marlins a 2-0 lead. 8th home run of the year for Cooper. And Miami off to a fast start.
He just jinxed it, guys. He just said it. I just told him to shut up.
We were in discussion about
Gary, my God. That was a bomb, too.
Gary some police protection after this game.
Wow.
6 for his last 13, though, so maybe he's having that hot stretch again. Remember,
Damn
he
it.
was amongst the batting average leaders the first couple of months.
Right, he went to the All-Star game. He's saying he's 6 for his last 13, so he was what, 7 for 88 before that?
Yes, unbelievable.
Wow. Thank you, Gary. You jinxed it.
So Avisail Garcia steps in.
All right. Well, you got to come back now. Very simple.
Garcia takes curveball low and in for ball 1. Garcia just came back from a hamstring injury a few days ago. Signed a 4-year, $53 million deal after a big season last year with Milwaukee. And to say he has not panned out in year 1 would be a vast understatement. Last year, an 820 OPS with the Brewers. This year, 590 with the Marlins. The home runs attempt allowed this year by David Peterson in 95.
All right, so Gary Cooper hit a 2-run homer off of Peterson in the first.
You want to do more than go back and take a look at it.
Wasn't a terrible pitch, but it was a pitch in the zone that he could drive.
Sometimes it's fun
Well,
to revel in your personal
comes down to the offense doing its job. They got to hit. They got to hit. Very simple.
Well, when you haven't hit one in 2 months, though. High fastball foul back by Garcia.
Well, the Gary jinx happened. He said it, and I said, "Don't jinx it, Gary. Shut up." And exactly what happened.
Fortes would be next.
But it's early in the game. Just holding the 2, get our offense back up there and get it done. Very simple, guys. 16 pitches for Peterson so far.
They spent a lot of time talking to the other hitters about what they saw, what kind of spin.
That's a nice pitch. That was the same pitch that Cooper hit for a home run.
And then you have
2
a
outs.
team that's struggling to score, and a guy hits a home run and comes and checks it out. It's
Yep.
the opposite of what we've been talking about with the Mets all summer, to me.
All right,
What's
2
the
outs.
chicken and egg?
Yeah.
Right? Are
2-0
you
on.
4 games under 500 because you don't
Yeah,
have
but you know what?
engagement?
21-28.
That
Listen,
level of engagement because
he's commentating the
24
game.
games under 500.
he's throwing the stats out
I
there.
don't have the answer. I know what
Ground ball should end the inning,
Cortez rolls one out to
and it
McNeil. That
does.
ends the inning.
All right, but not before. Gary Cooper, who hasn't had a home run since he faced the Mets in July, hits a 2-run homer in the bottom of the first. But it's the first inning. Peterson, it wasn't a terrible pitch. It was the pitch that he just struck out Garcia on, but Cooper crushed it to left center field, and it was a bomb. There's no doubt about that. But offense got to come alive. Very simple. They scored runs against Pittsburgh. Get it done. No excuses at all. Got to get it done. You know, I'm not going to kill Gary for that because, again, he's commentating. Again, we can all check the stat and check his numbers and see that he hasn't hit a home run in that long. I didn't know he didn't hit one in that long. I know he's been struggling. But you know what? Gary's is commentating the game. You know, if it wasn't Gary, Keith would have said it. So what can he do there? They're telling you the facts. It just happened at that moment. So the Mets are losing 2-0 and going to the top of the second. 2-run homer by Garrett Cooper. Once again, guys, if you're just tuning in, please hit on that like button. Got a long game to go. Again, one pitch. That was, I don't think it was a terrible pitch for Peterson, but Cooper hit it. Well, if Gary Cohen stays quiet, then we're not going to get a lot of well, Ken, because you're in Florida. That's why. And the game is in Florida. So you might get the better connection. Ken, you know, I can go to sleep if you want to join the stream. I'll send you the link. You can do the instant reactions and play-by-play if you like. Only 5 minutes? I was looking for 10 minutes, man. Come on. I got to do better. So we're just waiting for the commercial to end, going to the top of the second, 2-0 Marlins. And I think somebody said earlier, they like my shirt. Thank you. It's a 7-line college shirt with it's called the Queen's Edition. It's got Seaver Way. It's got the 7 train, the World's Fair globe, the Mets logo, the 7 number logo, and confetti and all that fun stuff. Yeah, me and Valhalla, we're cool, man. We're really cool. I was on his stream. Pete Alonso leading off. See what he can do. Steve, they did not. All right, Pete, let's go. Get it done.
Cabrera staying to a 2-0 lead on Gary Cooper's 2-run homer.
You see right now, they pitch speed in. That's what they've been doing early, particularly with a sinker ball pitcher, a right-hand sinker baller.
Well, if they're going to do all those rules to speed up the game, they're not going to take away the runner on second and extras because that speeds up the game. Yeah, there's that slider on the outside corner. Again, he's trying to pull everything when they're giving him the whole right side. If he doesn't take that ball the other way, they're just going to keep on throwing it on the outside corner. He's going to strike out doing that. You can see he pulled off of that. One-hand swing. When Pete is on, he's swinging with 2 hands. It's very simple.
Right knee down as the pitch approached and identified that it was not going to be in the dirt.
All right, so here comes Tyler Naquin, who had a very nice series against the Pirates.
Tyler Naquin, who had a good series at Pittsburgh, subbing for Starling Marte, and comes to a place where he has also had a lot of success. 345 lifetime against Miami.
At the moment, Ethan, he's not.
Pittsburgh and drove in 4 runs in the 3 games. Cabrera's had his breaking ball working early. It's 1-1.
Can't think it work that way, right?
James, I don't mind the rule changes. I don't like the bases getting bigger, but it's all right.
There's some places that you just, when you go to the ballpark and it's a good work environment, I think it comes out on your performance. I mean, I used to love to go to San Diego and Dodger Stadium because it was grass. And we played in St. Louis on turf. It's such a great setting, and I played well there, and I went to the ballpark happy, and I love taking my ground balls, and I think it spills over into your performance.
So you're saying you were not happy every day?
Well, not in Candlestick or Park Jerry. What can we do to stay with
James? No.
Does that have a carryover?
I just think it's going to mess up some people's, situations on the mound when they like to slow down the game a little bit. They can't do that anymore. It's very simple. Ball 3. All right. Nice at bat by Naquin.
That comes naturally.
Hype, it's all right. It's first inning. No problem. It's baseball. You can be down, you can be up. Very simple. The Mets come back before. I'm not worried. And that was a hanging breaking ball. Naquin missed.
Back-to-back strikeouts for Cabrera, both on the breaking ball, 2 out.
I mean, one of the more delightful things to do in this job is you see a pitcher who struggles mightily, and in a year's time, turns around his entire game. You can just tell by his body language the confidence that he has to throw a 3-2 breaking ball, something he wasn't close to doing.
So far, the lineup switch is not really doing dividends.
So 2 out and nobody on now. Marcana. Marcana starts the day 5th in the league in on-base percentage at .369.
I don't know how they're doing it, but it's much bigger than the current bases. So I don't know how they're gonna place it, but it's much bigger than the regular bases. I think it's 18 inches in circumference.
He picks off the outside corner with a fastball, and it's 1-1.
I was a big fan of Trey Mancini. I thought that would have been the perfect bat to put in the middle of the lineup. And obviously bullpen out.
6'5" Edward Cabrera. 10th start of the season. It is amazing for a team that struggles so
Hey, Joe, how you doing? Don't work too hard.
How much good young pitching the Marlins have developed or traded for over the last few years. Started with Sandy Alcantara, who they got from the Cardinals.
In
Ball
some
3 to
ways,
Canna.
I feel like you're not wasting that talent. But boy,
Delmar, you're talking about the best announcers in baseball? Not like you homers in the Braves. The crybaby announcers that you got. My God.
Soler and Wendell and Garcia, but those guys have not panned out in Miami, at least not yet. Second straight 3-ball count for Cabrera. And Canada takes a pitch at the knees, a changeup, and it's 3-2.
Asia, how you doing?
24 years old, signed when he was 16 years old, international free agent. Dominican Republic.
7 starts last year.
All right, full count to Canada with 2 outs.
This year, spent some time in the minor leagues, but since getting a chance to start regularly, he has been terrific. And County Yanks 1 foul and a changeup. It's 3-2.
Well, Ellen, we don't know.
Many minor league players around the league that lost an entire year because of the COVID. There were no games played, and they were just idling in the wind.
See the month-by-month numbers on Canada really struggled in June, but he has been fantastic since the All-Star break.
It's hard not to have one off month in the course of the season. He's been very steady.
All right.
7th pitch coming to Mark. And he pokes
And that's a base hit for 2 out there. All right. Good job. Nice at bat by Canada.
Cabrera got 2 strikeouts with earlier in the inning. And Canada has the Mets' first hit of the night.
Look, for a Braves team and who consider themselves better than the Mets and the Braves fans that consider the Braves better than the Mets, they do a lot of talking about the Mets. And they're supposed to be the better team, but yet they have to troll the Mets any way they can, which makes no sense to me. Like, your World Series champions last year. You shouldn't concern yourself about the Mets. All you have to do is worry about the standings, not play narco at the end of the game. It's just hilarious to me. All right, Vogelback is up. Let's see if this guy can get going, man. The Mets need Vogelback to get going. 2 outs, 1 on. Miami leads 2-0.
Get all the shifts in before next year. Looks like for the Marlins.
We're going to have to change all the charts next year, but for now, everybody's a shift candidate.
All right. Cabrera's a little bit wild with his fastball now.
Back with the red-hot Eduardo Escobar on deck.
I would like Canna up a little bit more in the lineup, but you're not going to clean up Canna. I don't think you should.
Vogelback lays off. It's in for a strike, 2-1.
We need Vogelback to get hot here. Like, seriously. Ooh, nasty pitch. That was a nasty slider right there.
He's throwing a curve or a slider or something in between.
A slurve, yeah, it's a slurvish slider. It's a bigger than a slider, like a whirling dervish.
Yeah, July, but that's also the A's. And strikes out Vogelback on a terrible pitch in the dirt. And Canna does not, Vogelback does not come through once again. He's been just a waste of an addition, honestly, to be honest with you. But Mets don't score in the second. Going to the bottom of the second, 2-0 Marlins. You know, the same problem with Vogelback. You know, for a guy who has a great eye, he swings at a lot of shitty pitches. And he's just bad. Like, honestly, I said this. As soon as Guillermo comes back, put Guillermo at third, DH Escobar, and you can leave Vogelback and Ruff as your bench players to come up later in ball games for a pitch in and an assignment if you want. Those guys are bench players. They're not everyday DH players. They're just not. They're role players that come up in key situations. That's about it. It's just, I don't like Vogelback at all. He's another one, just like Ruff is a hit or miss. They either do something or they do absolutely nothing in big spots. So, it's been, a month and a half now since Vogelback's been a Met? About a month and a half. After his first week, he's done nothing, just like Ruff, who hasn't done nothing since he got here. At least Tyler Naquin, I can't kill him because when he first got here, he did well, and recently he's been better. So I can't kill Naquin because, let's be honest, Vogelback and Ruff has been getting a lot of playing time at the DH spot. Naquin, has been sitting for 8 or 9 days. All of a sudden he gets a start and he does some damage. So I'm not killing Nate Quinn in that part. So I think Nate Quinn will be fine. The problem that I have is you got inconsistency at the DH spot with Ruff and Vogelback. A 220 hitter is a 220 hitter. Don't give me that bull crap about their slugging percentage. Slugging percentage is somewhat of a flawed stat considering that for two players that only play against one particular pitcher in a righty or a lefty. If they're only batting 220 overall, that means they don't do enough against their pitchers that they're supposed to dominate. So that's the other issue. Again, that's why I said in the pitch earlier in the stream and during pregame, you can't necessarily say the Mets offense has broken out against a bad Pittsburgh team when the Marlins have good pitching. So bottom of the second, 2-0 Marlins. Miguel Rojas leading off.
He's at just 185 against lefties this year, but generally kills Mets. That's been going on for years.
Garrett, did you mention what the...
Well, the problem, Ken, he don't even put the bat on the ball. He don't even hit it in the air anymore. He hits the balls on the ground, which is amazing to me.
Just don't want to, guys, I'm laughing at it. They snuck it in and I missed it, but it is 201 on the year, folks.
201. That seems rather low.
And Miguel Rojas on the year, 185 against lefties.
See, I did happen to mention that.
Hype, wouldn't that be great? I think everybody wants that.
Well, that's one for the night.
You're 1 for 2, Keith.
Come on, Ken, you're being too nice. I'm Hawaii time. Come on. Come on.
Oh, that's right. The nice pronunciation. You're right.
Come on, David. Nice pitch. He went. Yes, he did. Strike 2.
Slider, it's 2-2.
Oh, I like the handcuff signal for the strike by home plate.
Well, Ella, that's the way he swings. It's just not a good swing. Every now and then the bat hits the ball. Like, his last home run is against the Yankees. Alex Claudio, I like him as a lefty, but I wouldn't consider him a good reliever. I mean, he's been good in the minors, but we really haven't seen him much in the majors in big spots. And that's a double down the line.
Lost a second. Dug out of the corner by Canna. He takes a turn, but he'll hold on. With a leadoff double.
So leadoff double for Rojas. That was just good piece of hitting by Rojas. Escobar just missed that. He wasn't even playing that much in the hole.
I've always felt like this infield in Miami plays fast. They all do. Yeah, but this one particularly for me anyway. The days of Wrigley Field when they had the grass around 4 or 5 inches long. Remember running? Couldn't hit a ground ball through there if you had your life.
Charles LeBlanc is coming up.
And I'm going to have to go talk to this young man tomorrow because I need to know, since he grew up in Quebec, you pronounce his name LeBlanc, the French pronunciation.
LeBlanc.
Does he also go by Charles, like the doll, or is it Charles?
Okay, well, we'll figure that out tomorrow.
We're going to have to find that out. For now, he's
all right,
Charles,
David, let's go. Bear down.
Because that's what we've been told.
Steve, where do I play golf? I play golf everywhere. I am going to Massapequa tomorrow. Sometimes I play at some short par 3s in Brentwood, Long Island. Mostly Long Island. Massapequa, nice strike 2. But I play it all over the place. I don't have a set course.
Non-roster invitee got 83. Henry Blanco was Hank White. Maybe we can make him Chuck White.
Chuck White. There you go.
What was your first number in spring training, Ron? 57. Mine too. Oh, really? Yes.
That's crazy. Those are almost legit. LeBlanc moves his foot out of the way. Did he get hit? Apparently he did not. And Rojas went halfway to third.
So, wow, pitch, I guess.
Retrieved it.
And Rojas did not get to third.
If he had committed. The one right behind the catcher is a hard read. One right behind the catcher. You have the catcher, you have the hitter, you got the umpire. Yeah, we can't see it, and he can't see it. There it is to the left. Yeah.
Sitting right there in the official logo.
Look at the shoes. He didn't have a read. He didn't see it. Because he's a real aggressive base runner, Rojas.
1-2 to LeBlanc. Up and in.
Ooh, where is that pitch?
2-2. LeBlanc making his 26th start. They've used him at third base and at second base for his playing tonight.
Had his first hit against the Mets. First game, and
Then he got picked off.
yeah, remember that from Nito.
Leo keeping Rojas close, and LeBlanc takes on the outside.
Good pitch by Peterson. Strikeout. That was a big strikeout by Peterson.
Got to find a way to advance the runner.
I know I'm sitting up here and it looks easy, but got to do the little things to win ball games.
Third strikeout for Peterson. One out now. Here's Jabari Encarnacion. If you recall, Encarnacion made his debut against the Mets at Citi Field back in June. First game in the major leagues. He threw out a runner from right field. He had a
All right, David, let's go. Bear down. Let's go.
And he hit a go-ahead grand slam against Seth Lugo. He was the first player in Major League history to hit a grand slam, steal a base, and have an outfield assist in his Major League debut. Hasn't played much in the big leagues since, but he's back to face the Mets tonight.
I was going to say, the reward, he was sent back down to Jacksonville.
Right the next day, right?
Right?
Changeup misses outside, and it's ball and strike. Encarnacion, 24 years old. He hasn't hit much against lefties, just 143. Really up and down this Marlins lineup, there are not a lot of guys who have done much against lefties. LeBlanc has been the best. He just struck out. They're resting a bunch of left-hand hitters tonight. Joey Wendell, David Diaz, J.J. Bleday.
Nice pitch. Steve, I don't really play enough to
Marlins are missing
even start a handicap or do a handicap or even keep count of my handicap. I don't.
Nice season.
I'm not an avid golfer, I promise.
Clubhouse, but on the field and statistically.
All right, 1-2 pitch. I mean, no strikeout would be big here for Peterson.
He's been out for a couple of months with a back injury.
Popped it up. A lot of foul territory. Foul ball.
In the lineup, you're averaging around 2 when he hasn't been in the lineup, so who knows? But he did make a difference, I think.
There were 4 games under 500 with him, 20 games under 500 without him. And Jorge Soler, who's the other
32 pitches for Peterson. Not a bad pitch count if you can get out of this inning with about 40 pitches.
They've had 54 one-run games. 54.
And they're 10 games
I
under
agree.
500 of those 54. 1-2 coming. And then leads
Ooh, that was a nice pitch. I don't mind that pitch at all.
That's taken 10 of 14 for the Marlins this year. 5 of 6 here in Miami. It's done better against Sandy Alcantara than most teams have. Alcantara, though, has come back to the pack for his last half dozen starts. Didn't pitch great, didn't pitch terrible yesterday against the Phils. That one comes from one hand, and Nito scoops
Can't get
it
that
up third.
slider anywhere near the plate.
It's 3-2.
He's gone from a lock for the Cy Young to he's opened it up to 3 or 4 other pitchers.
Well, the guy you have to have your eye on right now is Zach Gallen because he's approaching history. The Arizona pitcher who came from the Marlins, Gallen, 41 and a third consecutive scoreless innings. We say he started Sunday?
Yeah, Sunday.
And then Julio Urias is having a wonderful year for the Dodgers. 3-2 coming. Swing.
Nice pitch. 2 strikeouts in a row after the leadoff double. Good pitching by Peterson. 2 outs.
The leadoff double. Peterson with back-to-back strikeouts.
Both on fastballs to LeBlanc.
Nice pitching.
Encarnacion. This one out of the strike zone.
That's where you got to pitch a lot of these batters. That's their weaknesses. Let her high. They can't hit it.
He hasn't called that high strike. He's been consistent. He's not a high ball umpire.
It's the number 9 hitter, Brian.
Got to be careful with Dela Cruz here. Got a lot of power. Nice slider for a strike.
Dela Cruz did a lot of damage against the Mets when he came over from Houston last year in 296, but it's been a very different year for him this year in his first full big league season. Another good pitch.
Nice slider. Excuse me, a changeup. 0-2.
Just recalled from Jacksonville a few days ago.
Steve, that's a good question.
He's had almost 250
I don't know.
and he just threw a 6 and just
I checked for you.
9 against lefties. So many of these Marlins
Come on, David.
batters up those low
Be big to get out of this inning with a leadoff double.
0-2 coming. And a half swing.
He went.
He went around.
Yeah. 3 strikeouts after a leadoff double. Great pitching by David Peterson, keeping it the 2-run deficit for the Mets going to the top of the 3rd. Marlins lead 2-0. Cody, I don't expect anything else from you, my friend. All right, so we're going to the top of the 3rd. Mets trail 2-0 after a Garrett Cooper 2-run homer to left center field. That was really good pitching by Peterson after that leadoff double. Shook out the next 3 batters consecutively to get out of that inning. So I like to see that. And he did it in pretty good fashion. And he has 37 pitches going into a 3rd inning, which is a pretty good pitch count considering where he started in the 1st inning. So once again, guys, don't forget to please hit on that like button. Obviously, the goal is to get 100 likes before the 5th inning is over. Again, who knows how many people are going to be in the stream tonight, but we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. About 3 weeks of baseball left, 24 games to go for the Mets. Again, I don't like to talk about easy schedules because of the fact I always think any team can beat any team on every given day. So, Cody, I respect the rooting interest. I do. Ken, no, the game didn't even start yet on my end. Steve, let's see. Is it? No, it's not there anymore. They call it something else now, Ace Golf or something like that. But I do. Sometimes I go to Clearview Golf Course and so. Oh yeah, Steve. Well, I wouldn't know. I'm sorry. All right, so waiting for the commercial to end, and here we go. We're back. Top of the 3rd, 2-0 Marlins. Eduardo Escobar leading off the top of the 3rd, who has been hot. 6-game hitting streak. Need him to get going. Eduardo, I wouldn't say that. I mean, one bad pitch and the guy hit it over the fence. I mean, that's not Marlins, stepping up. And that could be a base hit. Safe. Ooh, just in time. Nice play by the second baseman. Taking away a hit from Escobar. Hit it hard. Just beat it. Just the throw just beat him by a step. Good hustle by Escobar. All right, Tomas Nido coming up, 9th hitter.
Shaking his right hand after making that play. I don't know if he scraped it while making that stop. Like Brett Beatty. Right. He got his thumb caught under him while he was trying to make a diving play. Tomas Nido hitting at 221 for the year.
James, a lot of people have asked me that. A lot of people want me to do like NFL picks of the week based on the spreads. I did start a channel with somebody for like 2 weeks, but it was just a lot of work. And I barely have enough time to do this stream, so I would never sleep if it was the case. But unfortunately, I can't do it. Nice slider.
Mets players coming to Miami. It's a homecoming.
Oh, Steve, I've never been there. I've heard of it, but I've never been there.
He bounces one foul down past Joey Cora, 1-2. Brandon Nimmo waits on deck.
I was talking to some of my friends down here. They said this has been one of the warmest summers they've ever remembered in Florida. Hot and humid.
Nino hits a shot. That might be gone. That's a double. All right, Tomas. 1 out double for Tomas Nino. There we go. Nino has been just missing a home run the last couple of games. Nice to see. All right. Runner in scoring position, less than 1 out, top of the order. Here we go. I'm telling you, I like Needle so much more than James McCann. I think he'd be so much of a better hitter if he got more playing time. That was a shot to right center. That would have been in the 12th row at Yankee Stadium. All right, come on. Let's get on the board here.
With one out. Here's Brandon Nimmo for the second time. Rounded out his first time up. And he rips.
There we go. That's a run. There we go. That could be two. Is Nito going to second? All right. RBI single for Nito. There we go. Nimmo, excuse me. There we go. That's what we like to see. Good job. Hopefully Nimmo's okay. He fell going around first.
Remember in your early days, he could always look for a walk and take. He does not a leadoff hitter here.
Ethan, that would be hilarious. That's what he would do. His first home run in the year would be a walk-off. Good job. Great piece of hitting. First pitch. Nito scoring easily. 2-1 Marlins. One out. Nimmo on first. And Nimmo slipped. But he's okay. All right, Frankie, let's go.
First with one out, here's Lindor, who grounded out to short his first time.
Good eye, good eye.
RBI number 50 for Brandon. Nice from the leadoff spot.
Hype, I wouldn't necessarily agree. Judge hit bombs. Like, you know, he'll have his occasional cheap home run, but, you know, with 55 home runs, he hit maybe a couple. That might have been over that wall, but he hit shots. Good eye.
Guess it's just happenstance, but Nimmo continues to hammer it on the road. Just great numbers all the way around.
James, I'm glad I can help you out a little bit down that long-ass shift. Good luck, man. All right, Frankie, 2-0 pitch. You should be driving this ball right here. This ball needs to be driven somewhere in the gap. Well, that wasn't a pitch to swing at. A little bit up in the zone. I take that pitch too. Good pitch to take. Got our big boys up. Got to get it done here. Get back in this ball game.
You can't see it under his helmet, but Lindor has himself a new hairstyle. He went with some tight braids.
Oh, I missed it.
Good eye. Good eye.
You'll see.
3-1.
He said he's done it before. Kind of like cornrow braids. It really looks like a whole different.
David Peterson, Tim.
Yeah, I'm not sure of the color. I thought they were blue, but you know me. It's it's colorful.
3-1 count coming to Lindor.
Cabrera behind 3-1, and Lindor fouls back on that fastball.
That might have been ball 4, but he had a good swing on that.
And maybe some of this about changing luck, but you know he likes to change his hairstyles every now and again. Shoes, styles, gloves.
No problem, Timmy. All right, full count coming to Lindor.
I would, but yeah, sure. Why not? Put some pressure on. Yes. Gary struggled all year. An emphatic yes.
He's going. Breaking ball drilled in the right.
Yeah. And Nimmo's going to third. First and third, one out on a single by Lindor. There we go. Good job. Good job. Jeff McNeil coming up. The guy you want up in a spot like this. Let's go. Bats are starting to come alive in the top of the third. Every ball has been hit hard in this inning.
I am hoping that.
Luckily, the ball wasn't caught because that would have been an easy double play ball with Nimmo running. Come on.
And boy, the third spot.
Come on, Jeff.
Bomber hidden behind you for protection. I mean, McNeil is your best average hitter. One of the top hitters in baseball.
Original Ray's Pizza. You know, Steve, it sounds familiar, but I don't know.
I mean, that says it all. He's been clutch. He's got 50 RBIs coming into this, 53 RBIs.
Well, Ethan, it's Citi Field South, like usual. What Jeff McNeil got to do, get the ball in the air. Get that sack fly in. I'll take a sack fly. We'll tie the game. Come on, I'll break up the crowd on the mound. Let's go.
to Escobar that LeBlanc made a nice play on, and now 3 straight hits, all well struck, produced a run, and putting in a threat for more.
Let's go. I like the aggressiveness, but putting on the hit and run.
So now McNeil,
Ryan, and I'm expecting the Braves to get pounded by the Mariners tonight, buddy. Have a good night, buddy.
been awesome at getting a runner in for third with less than 2 out. 18 of 26.
All right, Jeff. 18 of 26 times he came through a runners on base. They're playing McNeil straight up with the third base in a little bit. Right on the edge of the grass.
McNeil attacks first pitch like Nimmo. Cora's telling Nimmo he can get a big lead at third if he wants.
Purdy playing off the line, and McNeil does hit the first pitch
Uh-oh.
down to first. Cooper to second for 1. Rojas with the
And it is a double play.
For the double play.
Swinging at the first pitch. I don't like that. And that was the double play we did not need. Nah, I don't like that at all, swinging at the first pitch. Don't like it. The kid was keeping his pitches up, having a problem throwing strikes, a little pressure on. Don't swing at the first pitch, but he did. Pulled the outside fastball and hit it right to the first baseman, and they turned it rather nicely with the pitcher covering first base, and they turned it 3-6-1 double play to end the inning. The Mets get 1 run on a on a Brandon Nimmo base hit. Tomas Nido scored 2-1 Marlins going to the bottom of the third. The Mets, at least at the very least, hit the ball hard. I mean, McNeil hit the ball hard, just right at the first baseman. I didn't like the first pitch swinging, and that's another reason why I don't like Jeff McNeil up in the middle of that top part of the lineup, because of the fact I think he tries to put too much pressure on himself, and for some reason, batting him down in the order works a little bit more. Batting him third, I don't like him in that spot, but that was just a bad play by that was just not good hitting by by McNeil there. Especially with Alonso coming up, you got to take some pitches. Got to give the pitch, you can't just let him go. Let the pitcher get away with something like that. I mean, he's struggling. The pressure is on, first and third, 1 out. Can't do that. But he did it. We are down by 1 run now. Peterson looked very nice after that leadoff double to Rojas with 3 consecutive strikeouts. Listen, Peterson, keep it to 2 runs. The Mets are going to come back in this ball game. That's the way I see it. So the game is back on. Bottom of the third, 2-1 Marlins. Mets threatened with first and third with 1 out, but McNeil hit a double play to end the inning. But at least Nimmo got a base hit with a runner on base and scoring position to score the run. 1 run for the Mets, 2 runs for the Marlins.
Said it was a big deal for him, not just because it's pretty amazing to get to meet the Queen, but his family.
I don't like McNeil batting third. He's not a 3-hitter.
1900s, he himself lived in England for 3 years during his.
Jeff McNeil even said it. He likes batting in the bottom of the order.
He goes, if you really want some stories from that day, you should talk to Larry Lucchino, who was the president of the Orioles at the time and really helped facilitate the visit. So I spoke with Lucchino.
Well, Tim, I think if Jeff McNeil doesn't hit leadoff, I think you have to bat him where you said, like 6th or 7th, because it doesn't make sense to bat him second, well, maybe second, but not third.
A baseball signed by Queen Elizabeth for him. So Lucchino tried to get it done. He went up to the Queen, gave her a baseball and a pen, and tried to get her to sign the baseball for Joe DiMaggio. But as you guys know, it's a little tough to navigate signing a round ball for the first time. She couldn't figure it out, and the best she could do was a partial R, which is part of her signature, stands for Regina, which is Latin for Queen. That was the best that she could do for Joe DiMaggio.
That might be a shot, and McNeil is there. 1 out. I agree, Paris, but on first and third, with a guy who was struggling to throw strikes, I wouldn't have swung at the first pitch, and that was a bad pitch to swing at. Matthew, no. This is not an Eric Chavez issue. At all. It's not the philosophy. It's just getting it done, and the hitters haven't been doing that.
Long live the king. Time marches on.
Ground ball should be 2 outs.
Escobar's got it. Throwing on the
There we
run,
go.
2 out.
Quick 2 outs for Peterson. Like to see that. That's what you want. You score a run, you want your pitcher to get out of it early. Very quickly, get your offense back on the field.
At the time, they decided that they should present the Queen with 2 baseball bats for Prince William and Prince Harry, and they went to present it to the Queen in the 6th inning, and the owner, Eli Jacobs, got so nervous that he started shaking and gave the bats to Larry and said, "Hey, Larry, you do this. I can't do it."
All right. Gary Cooper, who has the 2 runs for the Marlins with a 2-run homer. Got to be careful with him there.
Especially if you were, shaking.
I mean, there's the whole curtsy protocol, all of that. I just saw Larry Lucchino when I was in Worcester to see a AAA game.
Yeah, but you know what?
Part of that.
I agree with you. But the problem with that is Marte is too good, has been too good at the top of the order to put him. Now, I get why you put Marte behind Alonso. You might give Alonso a little bit more protection, but Marte is so good as a number 2 hitter. I can't just take him out because McNeil can't do well in a 3 spot. I'd rather McNeil let into the lineup, putting them as 6 or 7. All right, 0-2 to Cooper with 2 outs. Get our offense back out there.
Peterson's ahead of him 0-2.
That was not a good pitch. Yeah, but you know what? You don't want to take out a guy who's been good for you all year in a 2 spot in Marte just to move McNeil when it's not like McNeil's struggling 6th or 7th. If he was struggling in the 6th or 7th spot, I'd say, okay, fine. But he's been hitting well. So I agree with that, Lion. The Nationals, I mean, they played the Cardinals just as good as they played the Mets.
What? Really starts to play with a hard throw to the shortstop Rojas. But watch Cabrera cover. You get over there early, so he's got a second to gather himself, and that great, perfect throw.
See if Peterson get out of this inning with no problem.
Easier. Yeah, a nice, big, tall, 6'5" target too. Yeah.
See what I love though after we watched that and saw.
Well, Tim, it depends on the spot, though. You know. But I agree with you in that case.
Was when we went to break and Keith said, if I were there, it would have been a 3-6-3.
I actually prided myself on 3-6-3. He would have waved you off.
He would have knocked you out of the way.
No, not knocked you off the way. He would have given that look, but just dismissed you. You just put your head down and walk into the dugout. No, it might have been like Tony Perez when Joe Morgan stole home. It's been away his RBI.
Yeah, I like McNeil behind Alonso a little bit more than I like him in the 3 hole. The 3 hole doesn't make sense for McNeil.
Looking for the ball and also the bag. And if I could get back.
That's going to drop.
Coming on Naquin, he had trouble with the lights, and it drops in front of him, and he throws it behind Cooper, who gets back.
Well, base hit for Cooper.
Naquin would have caught that ball otherwise, but he appeared to lose it to the lights on the way, and Cooper has his second hit.
I don't think he would have, Garrett. He did lose it, that's for sure.
I was just going to say, Keith, that I think when Ronnie's describing the look that you would have given him, it's very much like if the Queen gave you a certain look, you just know to
Well, the difference with that, Paris, is that I think Alonso can be pitched to, no matter if you got who you have behind him. So I don't think it really matters much with Alonso. I think when Alonso's hot, it's hard to get him out. I don't think it matters who's behind him for the most part, because I mean, Alonso had nobody behind him for 4 months, and he's done well. And look at the numbers he's put up. Nice pitch. 0-2 count to Garcia. I like Lindor hitting 3. I don't like to mess with that at all.
He loves to count. Strike 1, strike 2.
Because Lindor all year has done a great job getting on base in front of Alonso. He's done that all year.
0-2 to Garcia.
Ooh, just missed low.
1-2. Coors Light beating the pressure.
The Mets are 12-5 in Peterson starts this year.
Number 7 starter, and this is his 18th start.
Nice pitch. All right, good pitching by Peterson to get out of the third, get that offense back out there. Alonso leading off the top of the fourth. Mets trail the Marlins 2-1. Well, Tim, we've all talked about that. It was obvious. I always said the guys to get is a guy that you can put in the lineup every single day, no matter if it's a lefty or righty. Give me a 270 hitter that plays every day at the DH spot, then a platoon that doesn't work. Platoons don't work at the DH spot. Where around the league? Now, I'm not talking about using the DH to give a guy a day off on the field. I'm talking about a platoon. A platoon where when there's a righty on the mound, you throw a lefty out there. When there's a lefty on the mound, you throw a righty out there. It doesn't work. Because when the guy is hot, whoever it is, as I said 100 times already, if Vogelback is 10 for 10 in his last 3 games with 3 home runs and 7 RBIs, if there's a lefty on the mound the next day, Darren Ruff is going to start that game. That's a problem. And that's why I wanted Trey Mancini or JD Martinez. I know JD Martinez has been struggling, but again, when you're on a team that ain't going anywhere, I think JD Martinez would have got a lot better, been a lot better on a team that's contended. And look what Benintendi, yes, but again, I don't think that's necessarily needed, Benintendi for the most part, but Mancini was the guy I thought the Mets could have got. I mean, look what Mancini's doing in Houston. I mean, talk about what he did to that lineup, even though the lineup didn't really need help, but they got him anyway. That was a big loss for the Mets. The Mets should have got Trey Mancini. I know it was impossible to get Josh Bell because the Nationals wanted to trade Soto and Bell in the same deal. So I thought Trey Mancini, I think the Mets could have got him. Again, I would have gave up a Vientos for Trey Mancini, to be honest with you, because what's the point? Vientos is not, 2 years we've been hearing about this guy, and he hasn't sniffed the majors. So why even waste your time? Send him to Baltimore for him. I think that the Orioles would have took him. Scherzer is on the IL. All right, here we go. Top of the fourth. Alonso leading off 2-1 Marlins.
The shift taken out of the game. We've got the bases getting bigger. Those are the changes announced for next year by Major League Baseball today. We'll kind of take it one at a time.
Tim, true, but at the time with the Nationals, he was batting over 300. So I can't, I think it's more of the Padres uniform more than anything else. And Alonso's just over swinging. I mean, that's a pitch he usually crushes. Well, Ken, are you shocked? The Rays are not afraid of the Yankees at all. Come on, Pete. Let's go. We need you getting going, man. Let's go.
Just in terms of the pace at which the game is played.
I'm in your camp.
That might drop. Nice play by De La Cruz. Coming in. 1 out. Oh, no, I'm not blaming Vientos. I'm blaming the Mets. I'm blaming the Mets, but this is not – see, Alonso was a different story, not bringing him up in 2018. That was about service time. With Vientos now, I think it's more of the fact the Mets – I don't think they like him as much as everybody thinks they do. That's the problem. All right, Tyler Naquin coming up, 1 out.
Step out for a little bit, but back in the box. It just keeps the pace of play moving.
So here's how it works technically. The clock starts when the pitcher has the ball in his hand, and the hitter and the catcher are both in the dirt circle around home plate. The catcher has to be in position at 9 seconds on the clock. The hitter has to be in position with 8 seconds on the clock. It starts at 15 seconds with nobody on base, 20 seconds with runners on base. But the other piece of the rule, and I think the one that's going to be the most difficult for some pitchers to adjust to, is that in the course of each at-bat, you're only allowed 2 what are being called disengagements from the rubber. Naquin flies one to center, and another play for De La Cruz.
And 2 outs.
And that means stepping off or throwing to first. Once you've done that twice, stepped off or thrown to first, you can't throw to first or step off again unless you pick the runner off. Otherwise, it's an automatic ball. Now, how will that affect the pitcher?
Well, we've talked a lot this year about Taiwan Walker and how he'll maybe set up a base runner with 2 easy throws to go with the hard throw over there, that great pickoff move. So he's not going to be able to do
Lion,
that
over 4 runs a game with their pitching is more than enough.
To start stealing the bases again.
I think that's the difference.
Well, that will also be enhanced by the larger bases. Because first base will continue to be along the foul line, the outer edge, that means the inside edge is now 3 inches closer to second base. And the way second base is positioned, it seems as though it'll be about 1.5 inches closer to first. So it's about 4.5 inches less for the runner to negotiate between first and second.
Well, what they're trying to do, instead of putting 2 bases down the first base line, as they do in some amateur levels,
and softball,
what they're trying to do is get the first baseman out of play. So when he catches the ball, the runner's not going to step on the back of his ankle. There's not going to be collisions at first. That's their intent of the rule.
And at other bases as well, we see infielders blocking bases, putting a knee down. Now you've created more space for the runner to get to, especially guys using the first slide.
I am not in favor of the larger bag.
Why?
I just think that I know that they're also talking about changing how firm the bag is as well.
They wanted to make a surface that the cleats won't slide off. We've seen injuries happen that way.
Ooh, that was close to the face.
I don't think he was hit, but I think he might have wrenched his neck trying to get out of the way. Or maybe he was hit. No, apparently not.
Well, he's got a fastball and he's upstairs. It runs in to right-handers.
And guys, just to give you some statistics from Major League Baseball about the bigger bases and how they've improved base stealing, lowered injuries from 2019 to 2022.
Canna pops out, 3 pop-ups, 2 De La Cruz, 2 Indian. We're going to the bottom of the 4th. Marlins 2, Mets 1. So Peterson's just got to continue what he's been doing and shutting them down so the Mets offense can at least get it together. Because, again, I said it before the game started, just because the Mets, quote-unquote, broke out offensively against the Pirates, it was against bad pitching. So, it looked nice on Wednesday, but Cabrera is a better pitcher than anybody we saw on the Pirates staff or even the bullpen for that matter. So, again, still struggling. It was the bottom of the order that got things going for the Mets 1 run, even though Nimmo got the base hit to score the run. The bottom of the order was the one that got something done. They hit the ball hard in the 3rd, but didn't hit it in the 4th. So we'll see. True, but Lion, the bottom of the order was what won the first game of the doubleheader in Pittsburgh, and they've been one of the hottest hitters on the Mets from 6 through 9 over the course of a week. So they've been hitting better. It's been the Lindors and the Alonsos and Nimmo that's been the major problem. And let's be honest, guys, Marte is a big blow for this lineup. He usually, when things weren't going well, Marte always found a way to get on base, always hit a big home run. I mean, we've seen it many times. He did it in the Dodgers series. He did it in the Yankees series. When the Mets were down and they needed a pick-me-up, he hit a big home run. He hit a big RBI base hit or double. And Marte's a big blow. There's no doubt about it. He's been our best consistent hitter all year. Anytime he needed a guy to get a big hit, Marte was the guy. Unfortunately, he got hit on the hand. It's not an injury where he was running down first base and pulled a hammy. That crap happens. It's unfortunate, but you got to deal with it. But that's still not an excuse for a Mets team not to score runs, right? They got more than enough players in this roster, in this lineup, to do some damage. So Bottom of the foot, 2-1 Marlins. Peterson back on the mound.
Peterson has fallen behind him 2-0. Cortez grounded out to second base his first.
RM, they can't do that now. God forbid.
He takes it
So
outside 3-0.
the commercial missed the first two pitches. It's already 3-0, by the way.
Home run against Adam Ottavino here in Miami earlier this season. And he lines this one out of left field.
3-0 swinging, base hit. James, right now he's day-to-day.
That's the fourth hit against Peterson, one in each of the first 4 innings.
Nice level swing on this high fastball.
Ella, that's not true. He was throwing 94, 95. That wasn't a fastball.
Who pulled one down the left field line for a double his first time up.
KTU, I don't know. Well, Terry, he's a spark plug for this team. There's no doubt.
Looking to push a bunt and held the bat back.
He was pushing that towards Pete to try to beat Peterson over there. Yes, he was.
I believe they called that a ball.
I mean, the confusion of the rules alone about the pitcher might get a ball on him. They might get a walk, a balk, whatever. There's going to be so much confusion early on in the season that it's going to slow down the game anyway because people won't know what the hell they're doing. So that's the other thing.
Marlins like to run. They don't score long runs. They push the envelope whenever they can. They've stolen the most bases of any team in the National League, 109. And Fortes, the backup catcher, has 5 stolen bases this year.
Yeah, they've only been caught 27 times, too, so a very good percentage.
2-0 count. Peterson a little struggling with his location in this inning.
That's line in the left center.
And that's going to be in the gap.
Fortes
That might be a run.
for third as the ball goes all the way to the wall, and he's going to be waved home. The relay by Lindor to the plate, not in time.
Not in time.
It's an
RBI double for
Rojas,
Miguel
his second double
Rojas.
of the night.
So Peterson with his location is not helping himself in this inning. 3-1 Marlins.
Well, this ball was a laser beam that got by Nimmo. I thought he had a chance to cut it off, but he just crushed this ball. And this fast outfield, infield, it's just going to scoop.
Another pitch right down the middle.
Fussing up the Mets' hair. He's just a thorn in the Mets' side. Well played by Nimmo, but this Fortes runs well. He does for a catcher. Shouldn't say that. He runs well for anyone.
But better for a catcher.
Yes. That's got to be a 110 plus, Gary.
107. Oh. As was the Fortes hit before. So a couple of hard hit balls against Peterson to start the fourth. And Charles LeBlanc struck out his first time up, and he shoots one foul.
Well, everything done properly here. This is just really a big ballpark. I mean, it's the, short hop to Lindor, but he played it nicely.
Perfect throw home, just too late.
Yep.
Come on, David, let's go.
Rojas now 5 hits and 8 career at-bats against Peterson with that double. Long takes the back foot slider, a ball and a strike.
Well, we're back to LeBlanc again. It came up LeBlanc, who came up in the second inning in the same situation. Didn't get the runner over from second base. Nobody out. Struck out.
It really looks like he's trying to hit the ball to the right side.
I mean, you got to be careful of these second division clubs in September. They're playing the season out, but when you're a last place team or a fifth place team, whatever, you look forward to the front runners coming in and having a say how the season ends for the top teams. They get up for these guys.
Well, Mets certainly are keenly aware of that after the last week in which they've gone 3-3 against the Nationals and the Pirates.
No, they are. I mean, they're not a good run-scoring team, but, they got a lot of good young players. But the Marlins in September, always, even for all the NL East teams, they're a pain in the ass to all the NL East teams.
Pretty good chance that their pitching's really good. Up and away, and it's 2-2.
Yeah, their team ERA, Gary, is 5th in the National League.
That's okay.
3.88. Their starters are at 3.75.
Foul. Oh. Braves start a series in Seattle tonight with Charlie Morton on the mound up against Robbie Ray. 2 hot teams.
And the second game of that series, and I don't want to get ahead of myself, but tomorrow's game will be Max Fried against George Kirby.
Come on, David.
Again, the 2-2. And LeBlanc pokes it to the right side.
Well, productive out. 1 out. Got the runner over to third. Good piece of hitting.
Able to get the job done and get Rojas over to third.
That was giving himself up to advance the runner there. He had 2 strikes on him. So a job well done. See the Mets should bring the infield in. They do.
So 1 out, Rojas at third. Infield comes in for Gerard Encarnacion, who struck out his first time up.
I do believe that, Lion. But as good as they were against bad teams, they were a little bit worse against good teams. Again, that's the difference in the division, to be honest with you, if you look at the records.
That 4th Miami run standing at third base and 1 out. This is down and in. 2-0. Tommy Hunter getting loose in the Mets bullpen.
Tommy Hunter warming up in the bullpen.
So far this inning. Last start against
70 pitches for Peterson, 1 out in the 4th.
Peterson.
It's do have a fully rested bullpen coming into this series. With the off day yesterday and minimal bullpen use in Pittsburgh. Swing and a miss, 2-1. That's got 7 inning starts out of both Bassett and DeGrom on Wednesday, so they use Lugo.
Well, I think people get a little too ahead of themselves because even if the Braves win tonight and the Mets lose, the Mets are only down a half a game. Like, it's not like they can't go back in first place. I think people tend to forget that, including Braves fans.
2-1 coming. And Encarnacion
nice pitch.
Over the top. And it's 2-2.
They're not giving him a fastball. He's just kind of flailing at the changeup. On a fly ball to the outfield, the Mets, the way they're constituted in that outfield, Tyler Naquin gives you the best chance.
Peterson looking for the strikeout. He buries that slider blowing in with his full count to Encarnacion. Ryan De La Cruz, the number 9 hitter on deck.
One of the things to keep in mind when you're pitching in these situations with a young hitter really wants to come through really badly, and they usually don't have the great patience. Another breaking ball probably will change up.
Mark Vientos just hit another home run in Syracuse, off a righty.
That's a little shook.
Nice pitch. Good strikeout by Peterson there.
Pitch that he struck Encarnacion out on the last time.
Lion, you don't know me long enough. I'm not always sunny side up with this team. Trust me.
Well, that's huge. Like you said, Gary, same pitch. Supposed to be in. But, you know, when it's 3-2, you got those strikes. So Peterson erred on velocity as opposed to exactly where it was supposed to be placed.
So 2 out the infield.
Marte has not returned for the Mets, more, not yet. He's still day-to-day.
Rojas at third and 2 out. Another back foot slider buried in the dirt, stopped by Nito. Ball 1.
You know, I think, okay, too, it's not about being in the playoffs either way. Obviously, the Mets and Braves know that. The point of the matter is the Mets can lose today, and the Braves can win tonight, and it's a half-game lead for the Braves. But that doesn't mean the Mets in 2 days can't take over first place again. I think people tend to forget, like, it's not just the end of the season, and the Braves win the division just because.
Dylan Cruz started the day hitting 156 with runners in scoring position. He struck out with a runner at second his first time up, but now Peterson's falling behind him 2-0.
Got to be careful with De La Cruz. Got some good power. Yeah, but nobody, the Mets or the Braves, don't want the wild card. They don't. Can't have the wild card for either team.
Second hitter has been behind 3-0 in this inning. Nick Fortes, leadoff hitter, is behind 3-0 as well.
John Birdie, the on-deck batter. An area where Peterson has improved greatly this year.
Braves are not terrible. They're one of the better teams in baseball.
Fortes was swinging 3-0.
Cruz, though, takes
that's ball 4. Wow.
Now runners are at the corners for Birdie. Second walk given up by Peterson. And here comes Buck Showalter, and that's
all right. Buck Peterson is coming out of the game. Tommy Hunter is coming in 2 outs in the 4th inning. So not a good start by Peterson. 3 2/3, 3 runs, and the runners on base are his. So his line is not done yet. Tommy Hunter coming to the game for some long relief. Not a good start. 2 starts in a row for David Peterson against the Nationals. Not pitching well, and once again, not pitching well against the Marlins. But it comes back to the fact that the Mets are not scoring. It's not, 3 runs is not insurmountable here. The Mets are not scoring, and that's the big thing right there. Well, no control. But again, he is a guy that hasn't pitched in 8 days. So that's the other thing that, we're expecting Peterson just to pitch well, Well, for the most part, Tommy Hunter has been pretty good this year, to be honest, since for the most part. I'm not saying, he's not no guy that I have tremendous confidence in, but again, you need to get the innings through here. Who are you going to put in? So you can't really just throw out anybody here. You're not going to throw your big arms in the 4th inning right now because that's a little crazy. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. He has 7 strikeouts. He gave out a 2-run homer on 1 pitch, which was not a bad pitch, but Cooper crushed it. And the last inning, they gave up that run there. So it's like, no, that's wrong, Lion. They do play down to the competition. They don't play down to the competition, but what does that really mean? The Mets have a well over 500 record against bad teams, as well as the Braves. Last game, 7 innings, no runs, 3 hits, if I'm not mistaken. All right, so Tommy Hunter's in the game with 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th.
Here, Birdie could try to bunt for a hit. He's 0 for 2 tonight. And he swings and flies.
First pitch pop-up, that helped us out.
Right there, camped under it. Under throws
all right, well, he got out of the inning. All right, so the Marlins do get a run. 3-1 Marlins going to the top of the 5th. A lot of game left. No, 9-7 isn't, but it is one of the big reasons why the Braves haven't actually been in first place by themselves is because there's 2 reasons. One, they haven't beat the Mets in the season series yet. Again, that's still to be determined with the last 3 games they're facing each other at the end of the month. And the Mets have a better record with teams over 500. And if you want to go to a 3rd reason, the Phillies' record against the Mets is 5-14, and the Braves are 500 against the Phillies. That's the reason. That's the big reason. Again, the Braves did what they had to do against bad teams because they're clearly better than the bad teams. That's obvious. But we're going to see in this Seattle series one of the better teams that they're facing. Well, Pete, don't think of that so fast because the Mets played well in Atlanta this year, to be honest with you. And again, I still think it's going to come down to that series, in my opinion. Tim, I'm not saying they are much better. Again, we're talking about on paper. Stop it. Until at the end of the season, the Braves have a better record than the Mets, that's when they're a good team. That's when they're a better team. That's it. Like, I don't know how – like, could we all agree, are the Yankees a first-place team? They have a better record than the Rays. They have a better record than the Blue Jays. Until somebody has a better record than them in the AL East, the Yankees are the better team. Stop looking at the paper and stop looking at the record over the last 3 months because it means absolutely nothing until you pass the Mets and have a better record. It's stupid to keep saying that. You know what? The Padres on paper have a better team than the Dodgers. The Dodgers are how many games up on first place? 18? It's kind of funny to think that it's only about paper because it's not. Alrighty, here we go.
Yes. Good job, Franco. I like that.
Top of the 5th. 3-1 Marlins. Vogelback is up.
Vogelback leads off of the 5th for New York against Edward.
I don't like power rankings. Power rankings go weekly. That is the most overrated thing that people do for no reason because it makes no sense. And James, no, I didn't predict the Mets to win the division at the beginning of the year. I had the Braves winning by at least 2-3 games. I think it was 96-93 or something like that.
Even though it's early. See the shift against Vogelback.
And a ground ball. What else is there? That's all he does. Vogelback can't lift the ball. It's amazing.
Next year. Next another piece of the
Lion, don't say that. Have you seen what the Seattle Mariners pitching has been over the last 2 months? It's been very good. Don't think just because Freed's a good pitcher, Seattle's offense is dangerous as hell. Honestly, guys, be careful with that. I know you Brave fans are confident, but be careful. The Mariners are a damn good team.
When the pitcher is on the rubber ready to throw the pitch.
And Kirby on the Mariners, who is pitching, has been very good this year as well. So be careful.
That's a little overkill. I mean, if you got a guy like Vogelback up, you could play in the outfield grass. He's not going to bunt. Now, how many hitters are you going to play out in the outfield?
I agree with that. But again, you know, I think too many people just look at the names on a piece of paper and be like, oh, the Yankees are better than the Rays. The Mets, the Braves are better than the Mets. It's not on paper. And right into the shift to us.
It's Rojas playing on the left side, right side. I don't understand why they put third baseman over.
Exactly, Tim. Hey, Jacob, how you doing? Look, there's no mistake. The Braves struggled against really good pitching this year. That's not a knock. That's just a fact. But that doesn't mean they can't go into Seattle and rough up good pitching because they can, because their lineup is very dangerous. And you know, just because they haven't done it for the first 130 games doesn't mean they can't tonight.
And they experimented with it in the minor leagues, is what they call the pie slice, where there are lines emanating from behind second base, so that not only do you have to play.
Well, the Mets have struggled against everything. Good pitching, bad pitching, and for the last 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken.
Now, the way the rule is written for next year, you can play 2 inches to the left or right of second base, so you really still take away the middle.
The problem with Fried, with Max Fried, is that if he can't locate his fastball,
that's what they're trying to get away
he struggles.
It's really hurt the left-hand hitter, and they're not more than the right-hand hitter.
And Seattle, who's a very good power team, they do strike out a lot too. So, you know, that could help the Braves in that situation, but the Braves are a strikeout team as well. The bigger bases are so stupid. Like, it prevents a lot of pickoffs. It makes it easier for base runners. I don't like it. Oh, that was a bad inning by the bottom of the order for the Mets. Quick inning for Cabrera. Going to the bottom of the 5th, 3-1 Marlins. No, RM, the Braves are better than the Mets on paper. Like, it's hard to look at the both lineups and say that the Mets are a better lineup than the Braves. That's kind of hard to – I can't even give you evidence on that. But on the field, the Mets played better against the Braves. The Braves had a lot of stinkers against the Mets this year. You know, there's a reason why the Braves lost every series to the Mets except for the last one. Like, they weren't playing well. They don't play well. They didn't play well against the Mets. The same reason why they didn't play well against the Phillies, for whatever reason. I don't think Philly's a very good team, but there's always a team like the Braves or the Mets or the Yankees. Like the Yankees, their kryptonite is the Rays. For the Mets, it's the Marlins. For the Braves, it's the Phillies this year. It's just every team has one of those teams that they can't beat. The Dodgers can't beat the Pirates. The Astros can't beat the A's. It's baseball, man. That's why we love it. Well, Pete, I think you are more realistic, and maybe Tim as well, regarding the Seattle Mariners. I think because they're on the West Coast, nobody really thinks about them. And, just everybody just goes back to history, which is a joke because it doesn't matter what happened last year. I think too many people think that is the case. It's not the case. If the Mets lose this division, it's on the 2022 Mets, not because the 2007 Mets did that. Lion, no. But did the Braves sweep the Mets any series? No. So Seattle did beat the Mets, yes. 2 out of 3. Again, you can go back. The Braves beat the Mets 3 out of 4, and the Mets beat the Braves 4 out of 5. Again, look, put it this way. The first time the Braves beat the Mets in a series was when both of their starters came out in the second inning. That's something you have to bring up, even though it shouldn't be an excuse for the Mets, but you have to bring up that case as well. Bottom of the 5th, 3-1 Marlins.
To the thing. And Brian Anderson takes a strike.
I wouldn't say that because the Mets had a couple, didn't have DeGrom and Scherzer when they were winning a lot of ball games. So that's not an excuse. Mets 21-28. Every team can use an injury excuse. I don't like to use it, to be honest.
It's Billy the Marlin, who's named Billy because he has a bill being a Marlin, is here tonight.
Looks exasperated. Well, he's a Bill Fish.
Yes, he is.
Pop it up. There should be 1 out.
Almost hit the roof. The door goes back to get it 1 out.
I thought that was going to hit the roof.
They came really close. Okay. Tommy Hunter came in through 1 pitch and got down to the 4th.
Well, for Brave fans being extremely confident
Well, he came in and pitched
since like yesterday, I can easily see the Braves sweeping. I can see the Braves sweeping the Mariners. I can see the Mariners sweeping the Braves. Because I think both teams are that good where I think the first game is going to tell a lot about the series, in my opinion.
Allegheny River, it was a very impressive home run.
Because the other hottest team other than the Braves have been the Mariners. So it's going to be a good series for sure. I mean, but you know what? It's going to come down to the Braves hitting good pitching. It's obvious. Another shot down the left field line. Garrett Cooper, been struggling. Hits the Mets like always. Garrett Cooper is a Mets killer. Lion, I think Brave fans and Met fans and Philly fans and everybody else would love that.
Bait for his last 15 now.
I don't know, Pete. I honestly think, look, I could see Seattle sweeping the Braves more than the Braves sweeping the Mariners. The only reason why I say that is because when the Braves face a good team, especially with good pitchers, when they struggle in a series offensively, they have a hard time winning. I don't think they're going to get swept. Like, personally, I don't think the Braves are going to get swept. I look, I'm one of those Met fans that I'm going to pick the Braves to win 2 out of 3, just because why the hell not?
Texas Rangers who hit 205 after the All-Star break. But Miami's hitting tonight. Cutter off the plate from Hunter, ball to strike to Garcia, who struck out twice. Peterson struck out.
Well, Roberto, if that's the case, if the Mets lose, the Braves win tonight, still got 23 games to take first place back.
78 pitches for Peterson before he was pulled. The sinker misses out of the strike zone 2-1. Future City probables, Carlos Carrasco.
I'm not basing it off the World Series. It's been all year with the Braves.
Lopez tomorrow night. And then Taiwan Walker coming off a blister in his last start goes up against Jesus Luzardo. Hunter takes a look at third and gets
all right, 2 outs.
First. As Cooper advances 2 out.
Yeah, and I think you can go back to the Oakland game in Game 1, where you should have had an easy win, and you almost lost that game. You can have a good offensive game, but it's going to come down to your pitching holding off the other offensive team because Seattle got a great offense. So that's the other thing as well. Excuse me, guys.
Steve's going back to New York. Bart Scott.
That would be
Well,
entertaining.
I think Morton, he's an enigma for real. Like, he can be dominant, like when he was against the Mets the last time he faced them, and then he'll come out and not looking like he ever pitched before. But he's an older guy, a veteran who's been around the block. So, that's what you expect from Morton nowadays. You can't expect Morton to be lights out. So,
Yeah, that was his last year's match for the Rangers.
I don't know. The Mariners have been awfully good. And I think you're downplaying how good the Mariners are.
He played in Washington when Ted managed in Washington. And Ted
Popped it up. That should end the inning.
Ed Brinkman was not a good hitter.
Out of play.
220, 210 hitter.
Well, yeah, Ethan, that's true about Morton. Like, he's either really good or really bad. Not really a lot of in between.
Ted said something about his swing that was very derogatory that I can't say on the air.
I think it's always hardest for the greatest players to be managers or coaches, sure, because the game came at a certain amount of ease to them that it just doesn't to most mortals.
See if Hunter can get out of this. Oh, that's a shot. That's gone.
Back toward the corner and
Off the wall. That's going to be a run. Wow, how the hell did he hit that ball?
Fortes into second base with a run scoring double.
That's a good piece of hitting, man. I'm not sure how he hit that ball. That was a good pitch.
Second hit on high fastballs.
Not true. Kirby has been one of the best pitchers on the Mariners for about 2 months now. Careful with that.
That's quick inside, Ron. He tomahawked that one.
And by the way, Seattle has really good numbers against left-handed pitching too. So Fried is not a cakewalk either. I'm not sure how Fortes hit that ball. 4-1 Marlins, guys.
Last night are hitting again tonight. 4 runs and 7 hits now. Here's Rojas.
Tim, I always agree with that.
So the Mets are going to have a hill to climb in this one.
Well, if the Mets can find a way to keep these runs down with the Marlins, maybe the offense can actually show a pulse. Lion, I agree. But Kirby has been pitching extremely well over the last 2 months. I think a lot of you guys are downplaying the Mariners. Be careful. And the Mariners are very good against left-handed pitching. Again, who knows what they'll do against against Fried. But, I think the problem, look, you'll know if Fried has it right away. If he doesn't throw strikes, he's going to be a problem. He's going to have an issue. But Seattle is a strikeout team as well. So if they put the bat on the ball, they're hard to beat. Just like the Braves, same thing.
Pirates when he really was not supposed to be available. So he's being a little bit overused.
Well, Roberto, I'm not going to kill Peterson because he hasn't pitched in a week. I think we're trying to think of Peterson way too highly. Like, you can't have a guy come in 8 days later and pitch and think he's going to be good. I don't care who you play. And again, it comes down back to the Mets bats.
Jeremy Hafner's going to go out and try and be of some assistance.
I don't think it's an accident in the bullpen.
So Tommy Hunter just made another walk. It's 4-1 Marlins in the bottom of the 5th. A lot of ball game left, but there's a lot of ball game for the Mets to give up more runs to the Marlins.
Better idea than most on what these guys can give you, and when you have a conversation with them, whether they're
Once again, guys, if you're just tuning in, don't forget to please hit on that like button. Let's get more people in the stream. Lion and Seattle can score and pitch the ball. Again, you know what that's called, Lion? Baseball. Everybody can score. Everybody can pitch. Again, you're not giving enough credit to the Mariners. And again, be overconfident. because don't lose the series to the Mariners. I'm telling you that right now, because a lot of you Brave fans will have egg on your face if you're going to be that confident against a Mariners team who's been just as good as the Braves since the All-Star break. So be careful with that. Basically since July 1st. So, and they also have the Astros in their division as well. So.
Takes fastball for a strike, nothing to want.
All right, let's see if Tommy Hunter can get LeBlanc out with 2 outs. First and second.
Fortes, the runner at second. Rojas at first with 2 out. Cutter off the plate. That's 1-1.
Well, Tim, the Braves team better not be overlooking the Mariners. If they're acting like some of the fan base of the Braves, be careful.
But if you get in a stretch where you're either behind or way in front, your frontline relievers, your best guys, pitch less.
Yeah, that's true.
And your second line relievers pitch more. So you're in a situation now where Edwin Diaz hasn't pitched in a game more than a week. And Tommy Hunter is going for the 3rd time in 5 days.
Well, most teams do this. They have kind of an A-B team. And the A team will pitch when you're ahead or the game is close, tied. And when you're behind by a few runs, there's other pitchers in your bullpen that are going to have to get the outs that night. Buck Showalter calls it chasing a win.
But you know what? As the games get later and later, sometimes you have to chase.
You have to chase every game.
Yep. On the outside.
All right, strike 3 called. 2 runs in the inning for the Marlins to make it a 4-1 lead for the Marlins. Oh, Tim, I agree with that. Okay, that's fine. But again, I'm not. I see. Did you hear what I said? I never said Seattle was beating good teams. But also, Seattle is not a bad team because they're beating the best team in baseball. And the Astros are one of the best teams in baseball. No, I'm not saying the Braves are. I'm just saying I don't think they are. Players should never look over a team. I mean, if you do that, you shouldn't be in the majors. You shouldn't even be playing baseball for that matter. Let's see. Well, yeah, again, I think too many Brave fans think the Braves are invincible when, again, I hope you don't have, you don't want to go into the 9th inning with Kenley Jansen trying to save a game there because I'm telling you, this guy scares the hell out of me. And that's coming from a Met fan, which I hope he blows every game from here on out. But, again, I think Brave fans, again, players should never look over a team, ever. I don't care if it's the Nationals or the Astros or whoever you're facing. But, again, I forgot who said it earlier. I think it was Joe, who's a Braves fan, said it. A West Coast trip is never easy for an East Coast team, ever. And, unfortunately for the Braves, it's at the end of the year, which sucks even more. And, you're facing the Mariners, who are still trying to get better seeding in the wild card seedings. So they're going to play really hard. They're home. They play extremely well. And I think we haven't really talked about that, about the Mariners. The Mariners play extremely well on the road. I mean, at home, excuse me. Nah, Kenley Jansen's a joke. I'm sorry. He's not good. He hasn't been good since probably 2019, to be honest. Maybe even 2018 for that matter. All right. Top of the order for the Mets. Down by 3. Top of the 6th.
Sitting in the 3rd wild card spot.
Iglesias, I love. I thought that was a huge trade for the Braves.
Batting order for Edward Cabrera. Brandon Nimmo leading off in the 6th. Now starting to get a little short for the Mets. Down 4-1. Nimmo's driven the only Met run with the 3rd inning single. Cabrera's retired his last 7.
Sorry, guys. I thought I had the sound up a little louder. That's my fault. I don't know if you guys can hear it.
Nimmo takes it down 2-1. 24-year-old Edward Cabrera continuing his fine stretch of pitching. dating back to his return from the injured list in early August, pitched under a 2 ERA out of that stretch. And so far, so good tonight. Well behind on demo 3-1.
Still overthrows that fastball.
Pete, I agree with you. I'm surprised they haven't moved Iglesias to the closer role. But then again, I don't think Jansen can pitch anywhere else but the ninth. That's the problem I think the Braves have. All right, ball four, leadoff walk. Come on. I think that's what the Mets got to do. Cabrera doesn't throw a lot of strikes. They've been chasing.
Francisco Lindor coming up, and let's head down to Steve Gelbs. His report is brought to you by Catholic Health. Steve.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. Jansen every year blew up for the Dodgers, and he's done the same thing with the Braves. He doesn't throw strikes. He walks a lot of batters. That's not a guy you want for a closer. Again, the problem with Jansen is that he can't pitch anywhere else in the bullpen. 8, 7, 6. He's not that type of pitcher. So, which, again, I think Iglesias is the guy they should be using at closer. All right, Frankie, come on. Let's go. Oh, those are nice gloves. NYPD FDNY gloves for the September 11th weekend. That's nice. By Lindor. Good eye.
Great stuff. Great. Steve, do we know if the Mets are going to be allowed to wear the first responders hats?
Well, I don't think Jansen's consistent enough throwing strikes. I think that's his bigger problem. He got good stuff, but he doesn't throw strikes. Iglesias is a beast. Come on, Frankie. Not true at all, Tim. That I disagree with 100%. That's a whole different ballgame. There's not many ninth inning closers that only close that can go into the eighth inning and be good and be consistently good. It's not true. Not true at all.
But through majority fastballs, same here to Lindor.
Lindor lined the base into right field in the third inning. That's got their only run in the third. They were down 2-1. They had first
come on,
and third,
Frankie.
had one out. And then Cabrera got Jeff McNeil to ground into a double play. And since then, the Marlins have tacked on a couple of runs.
I don't know what this dumbass Met fans doing on the stands. Waving confetti or toilet paper. I don't know.
Flies one toward the left field corner.
Wow, he hit it that far? Wow. I thought that was a bloop. One out. Wow, he hit that hard. He hit that further than I thought.
So 1 out and 1 on, and Jeff McNeil coming up. What's he trying to figure out? Where they were playing him? Why Encarnacion was so close to the line?
He might have been mad at himself for taking a swing at a bad pitch.
All right, Pete, come on.
Really didn't have a good
Pete needs to go to opposite field here. They're leaving that right side open at second base. I'm sorry, McNeil's up, excuse me.
Catch the replay up on the Jumbotron.
You know, guys,
Well, I'm not saying the Braves don't have a really good bullpen. I'm just saying Jansen's garbage as a closer. He's not the same pitcher. He doesn't throw as hard as he used to, which hurts him, and he doesn't throw strikes.
The Mets and the Yankees will have the option of wearing the NYC first responder caps. Their opponents may wear adjustable NYPD or FDNY caps during batting practice. All other teams on September 11th will wear a ribbon on the right side of their caps. Again, that is Gary Apple.
Well done by Gary. Well done by Major League Baseball to finally have seen the light on this subject. And,
Come on, Jeff.
you know, when we are contracting positions later on, I guess yours will be vulnerable, Steve.
Pete, I agree with you on that.
Ended on top of Kimmel.
Nice
Good
pitch.
breaking ball by Cabrera to get McNeil 1-2. The thing about Kimmel is that he missed the best part. He didn't get Bob in there. He needed the Bob.
Yeah, Tim, but that's the problem.
I was gonna say,
Jansen can't pitch anywhere else. I'm telling you right now, he can't pitch. The Dodgers tried that, and it didn't work.
I mean, Bob could
There's certain pitchers, especially closers, who can't pitch anywhere else and be good
was right on top of that.
You're not going to
Might have had too many
throw an arm
suggestions
away
on
in the
his top
bullpen in the
up. I
playoffs.
was,
I think
like,
that's rough. You don't want to lose an arm out of the
As a
bullpen.
fan, a little too much Bob, personally. What is this guy doing?
Well,
1-2 going. And McNeil yanks that one.
a lot of bad closers can get a lot of saves. The Braves gave him a lot of 3-run leads as well in those saves. So, but look, 32 out of 37. He blown 5 saves. So he should have more.
Just this, I can't see. Moving behind, you can't see. Come on now.
Behave yourself. So what the guys
You don't need them, but they've been using them all year.
they did
So
it to get on TV.
when are they going to stop
You know
using
what?
them? Game 162? I don't know.
Husband was not happy.
Good eye by Jeff. 1 out, 1 on, 4-1 Marlins.
Remember the old high school days before the football game? They used to toilet paper your house. The cheerleaders would wake up in the morning and your house would be all toilet paper.
Well, Pete, I agree with that.
That's what it reminded me of. Oh, he's not happy.
Tim, I also
That
agree
guy's
with
not
that.
happy. Ooh, okay.
All right, good eye, Jeff.
Change up just misses, and it's 3-2 to McNeil.
He might have just set up a brawl there.
Boy, sometimes you can't say chill out. Maybe just put the toilet paper away.
Put it away. Oh, he's Marvin.
Demo gets a lead off first. He's running the 3-2. McNeil flies this one to left hit pretty well. Encarnacion back, stumbling, and he makes the catch going away. Demo retraced his steps and went back to first. I think he retagged second on his way back. He did, because he did go past second base. So when you do that, you need to retag.
Jeff hit it harder than that.
This catch was in doubt. Let's start backpedaling. That's trouble. You got a runner, buddy. Nimmo does the right thing here. He does. Whoa, whoa, whoa. There you go.
Yep. A retouch. Did that nicely. Not sure what Encarnacion was doing, not throwing the ball. You forgot how many out there were. Or that there was a
All right,
runner.
Pete, gotta wake up, buddy.
Now they're at 2 out. Here's Alonso with a runner at first.
That's not the video you want to put on how to catch a fly ball.
Struck out Pete the first time
I mean, he turned around, backpedaled.
Inside, established in, and got him with a slider. His second at bat, his fly ball into center field. We got jammed on a sinker on his hands. So they're moving the ball in and out on Pete, as they should. One of the most dangerous hitters in the game.
90th pitch coming up for Cabrera. He buries that one in the dirt. Stopped by Fortes, 1-1. There's warm-up action in the Miami bullpen.
Fortes.
Well, McNeil's not a power hitter, so I don't expect him to have power swings.
Stance.
He actually hit it a lot further than I thought he did.
But he's right in front of it.
One to Alonso. And we fell back to fastball.
Pete is just flailing.
This has not been the best of times for Alonso, who's having a marvelous season, but so far August to September have been his least productive.
Tommy Nance warming up in the bullpen for the Marlins.
Marlins. As Cabrera tries to get through the 6th. He's thrown as many as 102 pitches in a start this year. Alonso takes the slider low and in. 2-2. Alan Dakewood would be next. That's in fact just 4 hits tonight. And 3 of them consecutively in the 3rd inning to score just 1 run. And since then, Cabrera's retired 9 of the last 10. Got lots of cracks.
Goodbye. There we go. Finally. He finally stood back on a slider. There we go. 4-3. There we go, Pete. Good job. Finally. Let's go. That was well needed. He finally stayed back on a slider, and he crushed it. There we go. Oh, there goes the Met fan with the stupid toilet paper. Sit your ass down. So stupid.
33 home runs, 108.
Give him the ball.
Runs driven in for Alonso.
Good job. He finally stayed back on the slider. Look at that. There you go. That was 2 hands on the bat. Leveled. Did not drop his shoulder, and that was everything. Well, Tim, I pitched to him as bad as he's been.
115 miles per hour off the bat.
All right,
That
come on.
was socked.
Now it's a ball game yet again.
Well, Pete had taken every breaking ball in that at bat,
All right, Tyler Naquin coming up with 2 outs.
which would have said he might have been primed for a nice little sinker in, but he wanted to.
All right, 4-3 Marlins, top of the 6th, 2 outs.
So now it's 4-3 Miami.
Yeah, he finally stayed back on the slider that he was flailing out the whole 2 weeks.
He takes the sinker out of the strike zone for ball 1.
You saw how level that swing was? He finally kept that shoulder leveled. And that meant the difference there. If he would have dropped his shoulder, that would have been a pop-up.
With the Alonso 2-run homer. And this
Ball
is away
2.
with that fastball, and it's 2-0.
Well, Tim,
So that is another notch.
you didn't do nothing at the deadline to get another
Fifth
power
on
hitter,
the
that's for sure.
all-time list of home runs in first 4 seasons, and he gets an asterisk with that, remembering that one of those 4 seasons, there were only 60 games.
Ball 3.
3-0 down to Naquin.
Marlins are scared of Tyler Naquin. Don't want to pitch to him.
Marcano would be next.
All right, Mark Canna, who's another one that has been struggling lately as well. I let Tyler Naquin swing in this 3-0 pitch, to be honest with you. Did not. Ooh, ball 4. Wow. That looked like a strike. I'll take it. All right. Come on, Mark. Alrighty, guys. So they're taking Cabrera out of the game. The kid pitched a hell of a performance, 97 pitches, 3 runs. Left that hanger to Pete. And let's be honest, Pete has been getting those hanging sliders. He's been missing them. He didn't miss it that time. Again, that was the first swing that he had on the slider in about a week, where he had the 2 hands on the bat, like when he's going well, he hits it, like he swings the bat like that. His shoulder was leveled, and he crushed that ball. If anything went, he didn't flail. His butt didn't stick out in that situation. He kept the level swing, and that's when Alonso's going well, which he got hopefully that gets him going, but I don't think that hopefully that helps Alonso get going, but that's for sure. That was definitely not something that we've seen from Alonso over the last 2 weeks. Nice to see him do that. Like that was that was a pitch where that's all Pete's power and 150 miles an hour right there. Again, that was a big home run to get the Mets back in the ball game. The lifeless offense from the Mets. Maybe that gets them going a little bit. Tyler Naquin just walked. Cabrera's coming out of the game. Mark Canha is coming up. Lately the Mets haven't been winning games like this. They've been, especially since probably from the beginning of the year until like mid-July, they were the team that always found a way to come back and made. If they didn't come back and win, they always made the game very interesting. And usually, lately, when they lose, they lose. There's no fight, or I wouldn't say there's no fight, but there's definitely no valiant comebacks. But we'll see. Again, they're still trailing. They still got to keep the Marlins to 4 runs. The Mets are back in the ball game now. We don't have to worry about. Hopefully, Buck doesn't put in Adonis Medina, who just got DFA'd, or somebody like that. He's done that lately as well. You got your big guns in there. Everybody's rested. You got Lugo. You got guys like that. Let's go. Bring them in. Let's not play games here. So if you're just tuning in, Pete Alonso has hit a 2-run homer to get the Mets a little bit closer to 4-3. Tyler Naquin just walked. Cabrera's coming out of the game for the Marlins. And Mark Canha's coming up with 2 outs in the top of the 6th. Mets still trail 4-3. Let's see if they can get the job done. Again, if the Mets win this ball game with the lack of offense they have been showing, that's a nice win if they can come back and win. They got a couple more innings to come back in this ball game. See if they can do it.
20-game winner,
Come on, Mark.
Award winner. What a year. And then the Mets traded him after that season. Got back with Cindy Moore, Travis.
Tommy Nance in for
Nance pitching for the Marlins, with the Mets having crawled back within a run.
Well, Tommy Nance.
Yeah, Tim Medina was our best pitcher in the bullpen.
Cubs in 21 claimed off waivers
Come on, Mark.
in March by the Marlins.
Canna
Pops it up.
Right
That
here,
sucks.
home plate. Who's going to get it? The catcher, Fortes.
All right. Kind of didn't get it done there, but the Mets come back. Down by 1 run with a Pete Alonso 2-run homer. 4-3 Marlins. I did like to see Alonso staying back on that slider. Didn't get fooled by it. It was a hanger, but he's missed a lot of those over the last 2 weeks. Let's be honest. Let's get the bullpen out there. You know, not the most confident bullpen in the world, but hey, put your big boys out there and hope they hold them to 4 runs and get your bats back in there. See if they can get it done. Again, I don't think anybody would be shocked if the Mets and the Marlins don't score another run and the Mets lose 4-3, because that's the way it's been going for the Mets lately, but we shall see. That's why we play the games. Sorry, guys, I'm just looking at something really quick, seeing any little updates. Poverty franchise. Well, the poverty franchise used to be the Mets. But let's see what can happen here. Let's see. Who the hell knows? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, you know, this is not the same team that played the last couple of months the way they played. They just, for 2 weeks now, the offense has been non-existent. And they won games during that, which is shocking, but they did. Once again, guys, don't forget to please hit on that like button. Also, guys, just so you know, I am gonna set up a direct phone line for Mets Talk Live or Mets Pregame Live, so you guys can like send messages if you want to get it put on the channel, on the stream, or live calls as well. So again, if you do call, make sure you keep it PG, so you don't make me get demonetized. I have to kill you, but but I'm gonna set that up very soon. And yeah. So we're going to the bottom of the 6th, 4-3 Marlins.
Beacon City Field. Then we go to Milwaukee and Oakland. Come back home with the Marlins. Go to Atlanta. Then the Nats, and then the season's over. What? That's it. No, 3 games.
All right, Michael Gibbons, who's actually been a lot better in his last 4 appearances. Well, let's see if he can do it again. Not a guy I have a lot of confidence in.
Phase 8, 9, and 1 of the Miami batting order. Jamari Encarnacion struck out both his at-bats against David Peterson.
And I will be right back, guys.
Gibbons has really stepped it up last outing Tuesday in Pittsburgh. He worked an inning, struck out 3 to work around a couple of hits. This is away with a slider, 1-1. Ryan De La Cruz on deck, and then John Birdie. We're down 4-1 before Pete Alonso's 2-run homer at the top of the inning, and now Gibbons trying to keep it a 1-run game. Encarnacion fouls back the fastball, and it's 2-2. Check it, it's 1-2. Peterson went 3 2/3, allowed 3 runs, 5 hits, struck out 7. His ERA went up from 3.32 to 3.47. Tommy Hunter went an inning of the 3rd, allowed a run on 2 hits. And now Gibbons, the 3rd mid-pitcher of the night. And the slider hit on the ground is short, and Lindor to get it. 1 out.
Well, he's really closed it up the last week or so of his appearances. You can see the full number 60 for the hitter. But I think the other thing he's done is shortened his stride up a little. He's not overthrowing, and he's using his breaking ball and changeup as well as that 95-mile-an-hour heater.
1 out now, Brian De La Cruz, who was struck out and walked 0 for 1. That's about 3 on the left side against De La Cruz, who takes a slider off the plate for ball 1.
Nice quick one out for Givens. End the lockout, Joe. End the lockout.
Just palms it in his hand and then adjusts it once he gets the glove.
Nice pitch.
That slider bends in for a strike, and it's 1-1. Tried to pop the outside corner, but missed.
Joe, never complain about time and a half. I agree with you.
Birdie to follow. Sometimes statistics can be deceiving, can't they?
Nice pitch, 3-2.
You mentioned when Peterson was getting in trouble in the 4th inning that he had this streak of 9 straight starts.
Tanner Scott warming up in the bullpen, the lefty.
Well, the streak continued. The only problem was he gave up those 3 runs in 3 2/3 innings. That's driven toward right center.
That is a shot in the gap. Good piece of hitting.
Cruz turns on the Jets. Gets to second. He'll stop there. So De La Cruz going there.
All right, 1 out double for De La Cruz. Good piece of hitting.
Racking up the extra base hits. It's not exactly a big part of their game, but they've got 6 extra base hits in the first 6 innings.
Well, they drove this ball.
Ethan, I'm not sure. I'm not an expert in the Marlins bullpen.
Yeah, you're right, Gary, about the extra base hit. That's just hit the ball where it's pitched. Not an overswing. Ball was up. And he hasn't hit a lot, but he still hits against the Mets, De La Cruz.
Over 300 against the Mets this year, about 200 against everybody else.
All right, well, got to get the job done. Come on, Givens. Let's go.
Sean Birdie up
Got to keep it to 4 runs here.
Flied out twice. He takes on the inside corner, strike, nothing more.
The Marlins are 12th in doubles, tied for 9th in triples, and next to last in home runs.
All that gets captured in slugging percentage, in which they're second from the bottom.
Correct.
On the ground to short, trying to advance is De La Cruz, and he is thrown out.
Good job. Nice play. Bad base running. Help the Mets there. 2 outs. Good job. Good job. Good job.
6-5 put out, 2 out.
Mistakes made by young players. Ball hit to your right. You do not advance. So, but this will put Birdie into play to try to replace him.
Yep. John Birdie is the National League's leading.
All right, so look for John Birdie to steal a base here.
6 tries, despite playing about half the games. He takes a huge lead.
Gibbons got a quick move.
Perhaps the reputation of the.
Got to be careful, Brian Anderson here. Got some power. He hasn't had a lot of power this year, but he does have power. I don't remember the last time somebody pitched out anymore. He got a huge lead. He's definitely going to go.
Even bigger lead now for Birdie. He is fearless.
Got him. Ooh. I don't know. I don't know what he threw to first base, but.
Talon Walker pick off Birdie earlier this year.
Yes, he did.
Yes, you're right. Good memory.
I think he would have got him.
Little change up, Pete with the scoop. Runs up his arm, juggling act, and gets it.
I want to say Birdie got picked off at second base in Citi Field at one point this season, if I remember correctly.
Givens has given up only 1 stolen base
got
this
him.
year, and
they got him.
The tag on the back, and Givens picks off Birdie.
He got him.
And no argument from John.
Good
Birdie.
job.
Gets picked off by the Mets.
Innings over.
Second pickoff of the year for Givens. Batting lead.
Yes. All right, we got out of that inning. 2 bad base running blunders. Got the Mets out of the inning, to be honest with you. The Mets, the Marlins should have scored in that inning. But their mistakes is our rewards. Got to get back that offense and let's go. Let's win this ball game. No playing around no more. Let's go. Let's get it done, guys. Yeah, I mean, listen. these are the mistakes that you have to take advantage of. You have to. This is the game the Marlins should have just ran away with, and base running blunders. I honestly think they kept Cabrera just a little bit too long in there. So, but you know what? Givens, look, he gave up a rocket, but you know what? He got the ground ball that he needed, and he made a nice pickoff move. We got a couple of pitchers that have really good pickoff moves. That might change next year with the big ass bases, but who cares? That's next year. Well, listen, these blunders on the bases could cost the Marlins the game. The Mets got to take advantage of it. They've done anytime the Mets got other teams made mistakes against the Mets made them pay. They got to do it. The Mets will have up Vogelback, Escobar, and Nito. A lefty's coming in the game, so I'm assuming Daniel Ruff is going to come into the game for Vogelback. That would be nice if Ruff can actually get his first home run of the year for the Mets. That would be nice since we acquired him, which would be extremely nice, but who knows? Wait and see. But Darren Ruff is definitely going to be pinching it for Vogelback with the lefty coming in. So it would be Ruff, Escobar, Nito against lefties. And you know what? I kind of like our chances with that because Escobar has been, as Tanner Scott is in, 4.39 ERA. Let's see what he can do. See what we can do.
Brought on in the 7th inning to protect a 1-run lead. Darren Ruff will back.
There you go. Darren Ruff is in the game.
Back with a lefty in the game.
Well, he was traded in April. But you got to get a ball off the field here.
Come on.
Encarnacion does that. Traded along with Cole Sulcer to the Marlins exchange for a draft pick, 2 minor league prospects.
It's been a very rough go for Darren Ruff. One for his last 27
would be nice
as he steps in against Tanner Scott. Runs this fastball inside for ball 1.
I agree, Brown. I agree.
Escobar and Nito, so Scott will face 3 right-handed bats in the inning.
Can it be Ruff's first moment as a Met getting a big home run here to tie the game?
3 on the left side against Ruff.
That's why we got him, right? We got him for power.
Has a big arm. Throws 95 plus with a hammer. Can't always find the strike zone. That's the issue with Tanner. Great arm.
Went to Howard College in Big Spring, Texas. I mean, you got to
2 pitches right down the middle.
Big Spring, Texas.
I don't get it. Don't get it. Come on, Darren.
Scott has 19 saves this year, but he's also blown 6. He used in a different role tonight. Grounded foul by Ruff, and it's 1-2.
Come on, Darren.
One-two coming to Ruff. He fights one off toward the bag, and Cooper gets over to play at the backhand flip. And Scott covers for the out.
There was nobody playing at second base, but it had to get hit to the first baseman. 1 out. God, Ruff is so bad.
His Rolstay made a moment pick-off by Michael Gibbons.
I wonder if he did set him up with a changeup before. He has such quick feet. You see him trying to get back. But his hand, once it hit the dirt, kind of folded it up, and he didn't get the full extension back to the bag. But credit the quick feet.
All right, Escobar. Been hot. Let's see if he can do it here. Come on.
That Birdie tends to be fearless on the bases.
Ooh.
And I wonder with a guy like Gibbons, who you know has that kind of quick move, whether maybe that fearlessness worked against him.
Or, I mean, they got to have scouting, right? All you got to do, there's certain guys you can't run on. It's not that hard.
So this guy has been kryptonite for Escobar. He has 5 career at-bats against Tanner Scott, 5 strikeouts.
Come on, Eddie.
Tonight he was robbed of a hit on the fine play by LeBlanc in the 3rd. And then grounded into the shift in the fifth. That was batting left-handed, now batting right-handed for the first time tonight. And Escobar chases one upstairs, and he just obviously doesn't see it very well.
Scott had a great arm.
Judging by that swing. Escobar riding a hot streak coming into this game. And interestingly, most of that hot streak has been as a left-hand batter, which was a sign that it bedeviled him for most of the year. But much better from this side.
Foul ball.
And he's just going to be
Stay alive.
Stay in the event. Scott, the third Marlins pitcher. Edward Cabrera went 5 2/3, allowed 3 runs, 5 hits. Tommy Nance threw just 2 pitches. Got the foul pop up from Canada and the 6th, and then gave way to Scott. Tomas Nido waiting on deck. Slider
Good eye.
2-2. Played off 2-2.
Balls all over the place. Umpire Chad Fairchild dropped the ball, threw one ball out, gave one ball to Fortes.
Hey, the Pirates are at it again. They lead the Cardinals 4-1 in the 7th.
Yeah.
Cardinals have an 8-game lead in the Central. 2-2 coming. Line in the left field.
There we go.
So Escobar
Good piece of hitting.
against the guy who is
Finally got the hit against that guy. Come on.
Pitch to him there. And he's aboard with
Come
one
on,
out.
Tomas.
That's official then. He's hot. If he can hit Tanner Scott.
7-game hitting streak now for Escobar.
Good piece of hitting. Didn't try to do
It
too
just
much.
seems like that stint on the IL, he got away from it and just really cleared his head. He's come back swinging the bat like a different player.
The veteran player on the IL,
Come on.
watching a young player maybe taking your job. If that's not inspiration.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on.
Adrenaline going.
But it,
Time right at first.
Come on, Tomas.
One out
Base
for
hit.
Nido.
First pitch.
And Tomas takes fastball inside. Nido hit one off the fence in right center for a double and scored the Mets' first run in the 3rd. Then he struck out in the 5th. By the way, speaking of the Cardinals, congratulations Adam Wainwright and Yanni Molina tying the record 324 starts last night. Nicky Lolich and Bill Freehand back in the 60s and 70s.
Come on,
They get
Tomas.
their next start together.
Woo!
Celebrated with 2
He was
home runs
wearing
in a
up for
row,
that
but they
one.
lost the game.
to the Nationals. Yeah, Tuesday or Wednesday that will happen. The whole baseball world will be watching that first few minutes.
Come on.
Used to be they had to wait till after 4.5 innings until the game was official. Now first pitch. It's just every game gets played to some kind of completion. 1-1 coming. And Nido
Good
takes
eye.
a slider low and in, and it's 2-1. It's not coming so easily for Scott after he got rough on the ground ball and then got a hit on Escobar. Escobar was able to work into a more favorable count and get a base hit. And it was 2-1 to Nido with Nimmo on deck. Nido 1 for 2 in his career against Scott. And Tomas flares.
That's a
right.
base hit. All right.
That's going to fall for a base
There we
hit.
go.
Escobar
First and
falls to
second, top of the
He's
order.
got his second hit of the night.
Nimmo coming up. There we go.
Runs on base with 1 out.
Come on.
Keith, you opened about the bottom of the order.
I'm telling you, I like Tomas Nido hitting than James McCann. He puts better at-bats together. He just does. All right, come on. Come on, Brandon.
You can have big innings.
This is a spot
And you put the
where I think Nimmo
place
needs to go after the first pitch here. I think he needs to try to rip one on the first pitch.
Let's check in with the studio. Chris Williamson has a game break.
Come on.
Chris.
Thanks so much, Gary. Reds and Brewers. Reds tattooed the Brewers in the first. Jose Barrero, the RBI.
Look at all the bad teams
Part of a five-run
playing well
Brewers
against really good
is
teams.
now bottom of the third.
Wow.
Gary, back to you.
Come
All
on.
right, Chris.
All right, Brandon.
Big at bat for Nimmo. Who's already had an RBI.
Nimmo's going after the first pitch, I'm telling you. He's going to try to drive one here.
Escobar the tying run at second. Nido at first. 7th inning, Mets
Come
down
on.
4-3. Nimmo takes up and in from Tanner Scott.
All right,
Really
come on.
all over the place.
He's struggling with his control now.
He's not getting his slider over.
I take Nito as our backup, but Alvarez as our starter.
I mean, this has been the problem.
All right, pitching coach coming out.
His entire career. This year he's averaged 6.2 walks per 9 innings. And that doesn't just translate into walks, that translates into unfavorable counts.
Yeah, he has a little bit of Mitchell Williams in his delivery. And what I mean by that is he gets splayed all over on his way to the mound. Arms and legs and everything going this way and the other. And I think it lends itself to great velocity.
Another lefty is in the bullpen for the Marlins, Steven Okert.
I learned the word splitting today.
Let's go. Base hit here can tie the game.
Use it in a sentence.
I'm here to give you the bounce
Come on.
pass.
Apparently, splitting is when squirrels or
Nemo
other four-legged animals lie on their belly with all 4 of their legs.
is the guy, when a pitching coach comes out, he looks for a fastball down the middle. See if he tries to swing at one here.
Spluter Scott behind Nemo 1-0.
Come on, Brandon.
Rojas trying to keep Escobar close at second. And Nemo takes a slider
another
to third,
ball.
smothered.
I take a pitch here.
Fortes, and it's 2-0.
Don't give him anything.
That one in there. The last time Mel Stottlemyre Jr. came out for a visit, McNeil hit into a double play. Not so lucky this time. Fortes has been so good this entire game.
They've got another left-hander up the bullpen now, Steven Okert, who has had troubles of his own.
Come on. I think you got to take in this at bat here. At this pitch. Have to take a pitch here. Got to be careful. Let him throw a strike first. There you go. Obviously, you're taking 3-0 here.
2-0 slider. You got Lindor on deck. With Neal behind him and then Alonso. So the Mets have their opportunity right now. Game they've been down since the first inning.
This is going to be the inning here, guys. The Mets need to come back, at least tie the game here.
You know Nimmo's going to take a pitch.
For 2.
Ball 4. Bases loaded. Nope, 1 out for Lindor.
Nimmo's on base for the
Let's
third
go.
time. Second time he's drawn
Come
a
on.
walk. And Lindor will be coming up with the bases loaded, but against a different pitcher.
All right, so Okert, the lefty, is coming in. Scott was just wild. 4-3 Marlins in the top of the 7th. Bases loaded, 1 out with Francisco Lindor coming up. I do like Francisco Lindor right-handed in this spot. Even with another lefty coming in, Okert, who's also, they said, been struggling. So I think Lindor's got to be careful here. I don't think you should swing at the first pitch here. Hey, Kimchi, how you doing? LFGM, buddy. So Mets, I think this is going to be the opportunity of the game here. I don't think if they score here, they don't score here, I think it's going to be very difficult to, it is 1 run, but still, this is the opportunity right here. You got your big boys coming up. You got bases loaded. The bottom of the order took care of business. Got on base for you guys. Got to take care of business here. This is the opportunity that you've been waiting for. You got Alonso bringing the team back from a 4-1 deficit. You got to take advantage of it here. Again, you don't have to do too much. Look, a sac fly, pretty good chance can bring home Escobar. You tie the game. Productive outs. The team have done this all year. Have been struggling as of late, but you got to be productive in this spot here. A wild pitcher they just took out, Okert. I'm just looking at it right now. He has a ton of walks right now. He has a lot of walks. He's another guy that can be wild, doesn't have a lot of good control. So Lindor's got to get it done right now. For the most part this year, Lindor has come up big in big spots. He's another one that's been struggling, but he also has put better at-bats together in the last couple of games as well. Of course the Yankees are losing. The Yankees can't beat the Rays. I'm telling you, Yankees are going to lose the division. But it's not about the Yankees at the moment, even though that's hilarious. Lindor's got to stay within himself. Don't beat himself. Don't let them do what they got to do. Because bad teams usually find a way to lose. You don't give them any reason to keep them in a ball game there. So here we go. Top of the 7th. Mets 3, Marlins 4. As you can see on your screen, bases loaded with 1 out for Francisco Lindor. He's got to be patient, but don't do too much. Here we go. Come on. This is the inning right here.
We'll get you down safely. Well, Stephen Oker comes into a mess. Top of the 7th, 4-3 Miami.
Come on.
Mets have the bases loaded and 1 out. Francisco Lindor, who is 3 for 7 with 2 home runs against Oker, steps in the batter's box. And Lindor takes first.
All right, I don't mind that. Take the pitch. Doesn't throw very hard.
To right field, batting left-handed in the 3rd. Now they have the full shift on him, batting right-handed now in the 7th.
He's inherited 15 runners. Only 4 have scored against Oker.
Nasty pitch. 0-2.
Oh boy, tied him
That was a
up
nasty
inside.
pitch.
They wanted up and in, and he got it, Derek.
That was a good pitch. He's hit Oker well. So far, he's 0-2.
Got to go there again, don't you, Keith? We'll see.
And Lindor hits it on the ground.
Oh, no. Double play. Oh, wow. That's not what you wanted. Ooh, not what you wanted. Well, he got himself in an 0-2 hole. Got a hanging slider, but did not drive it. Got it down right to the third baseman, and an easy 5-4-3 double play to end the inning. That sucks. Well, not looking good for the rest of the game, to be honest with you guys. But gotta get it done, man. First pitch, I would have took that pitch as well, but that second pitch was nasty. When you get an 0-2 count, you got to protect. You can't just – what are you going to do? The only thing I can say, get out of the next bottom of the 7th and get Alonso up there, I guess. I don't know. Elliott, he hasn't come up short. Most of the year, he's been very clutch. Again, the last, he's been struggling just as bad as Alonso. So I'm not going to kill him. I don't think it was a good at bat, but you know what? He did put the bat on the ball. I mean, I thought he was going to strike out in that spot. Maybe that would have been better off considering that the inning's over. But the Mets still lead, still down by 1. That was the chance. I think the Mets had the opportunity to break open a game there. I mean, double plays are a rally killer. There's no doubt about that. But come on, guys. We're Met fans. We should know that by now. They don't make it easy, ever. But bottom of the 7th, pretty sure the Mets are going to I don't know if Gibbons is going to come back out or they're going to use Lugo. We'll see. I agree. It sucks because the bottom of the order has done its job. They got on base for the big boys. Alonso wouldn't even be up. It would be McNeil. That was batting 3rd. So we will see. Yeah. Look, when Lindor struggles, he struggles. When he's hot, he's hot. That was the chance. All right, Gibbons is still in the game. Got to keep it a 1-run ball game here.
Anderson, who was at the plate, when Gibbons picked off John Purdy to end the bottom of the 6th.
Big inning here for Gibbons. Has to throw him to 0.
Anderson's 0 for 2 in a walk tonight. He walked in the first inning in front of Garrett Cooper's home run that put the Marlins in front. Now Miami's been in front every step of the way. Mets got within 1 run of the 3rd. Had the tying run of 3rd with
Alien, it's McNeil and then Alonso.
Out of that inning.
It definitely was a horrible at bat. Again, I'm not going to kill him on the first pitch taken.
Double play kept the tying run from scoring.
The first pitch I would have took as well, even though that was a hanger. The second pitch was the pitch that tied him all up. That kind of hurt him in his bat. But you got 2 innings to get back in this ball game, but you got to hold them at 4 runs. Come on, Michael.
Slider outside. Keith, it goes without saying that when you get to this time of year, every game is of great importance. So when you get in these situations where you're battling uphill against a team that supposedly you're supposed to beat, and you have a couple of instances like that, does it play differently as Anderson strikes out for the first? Does it play differently in your mind as a hitter?
All right, so 1 out, strike out.
No, I think the expression on Lindor's face says it all. He hit the ball hard. It was right at the third baseman, either 10 feet left or right. It's base hit.
Well, that's a good point Keith made. He did hit the ball hard. It was just right at the third baseman.
They've been a comeback team all year. And Ronnie, you and I have been in the 80s with that team. You felt that there was not a lead that was insurmountable. And I just feel that this team, it just keeps plugging along. And they're not going to do anything go out of their norm. They're going to stay within what they do. They're
so Gary Cooper, who's been killing the Mets today, 3 for 3. He needs a triple for the cycle, by the way. A home run, a single, and a double in this game.
One thing I've noticed, and I wasn't there with you guys in Pittsburgh, is that they're on the 16-game stretch, which they are now 3-3 against teams that are not 500 teams. The one thing I've noticed, pressure's on the Mets.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel any pressure in the other dugout, but I do feel the pressure of every at-bat, every pitch, every run get allowed, every run not scored. I do feel that.
3-0 to Cooper. He's going to swing on this pitch.
I remember
I'm surprised.
82, and I was a little bit nervous in the beginning of September. We were battling the Phillies for the division. I went up to Gene Tennis and said, Gene, I'm a little dancy. And he goes, he just said simply, would you rather be 20 games out playing the season out?
Garrett Cooper draws a 1-out walk, so he's on base for the 4th straight time. Home run, single, double, and now a free pass.
Well, I'm not mad he walked him in that at bat, though, because that guy's killed us.
Obviously,
well,
I still remember it like yesterday. So
I don't think it's Boone, to be honest with you. I mean, Boone's just a body in the dugout. The bigger problem is Cashman putting a team together that is not that good.
This team is a veteran team. It's built to win now. You've got a lot of veterans.
Come on, Michael, let's go.
Stretch runs.
Zapocio Garcia is 0 for 3. It's the first pitch off Givens to Lindor.
Double play? All right, we got a big double play. There we go. 1-6-4-3 double play to end the inning. Coming right back up in the top of the 8. McNeil, Alonso, Naquin. Lindor's very upset of himself. Very upset of himself. All right, top of the 8, 4-3 Miami. Marlins got a big double play. The Mets just got a big double play. See if somebody can get it done. 3, 4, 5. Again, see, I don't see the problem with this lineup. And the reason why platoons don't work at the DH is that you just used a big right-handed bat for Vogelback in the last inning. So what do you do now? They keep the lefty out there. You got McNeil, you got Alonso, and then you got Naquin. Who are you going to put in? There's nobody else. So, Naquin's going to get an at-bat against a lefty, which is not ideal. So, but we will see. We will see. They're showing a commercial for Pinocchio. So, once again, guys, thank you for tuning in to Mets versus Miami live stream here on Talking Mets with Rob. Don't forget to please hit on that like button. Alien, I can have so many different ways it can look. I think it needs to be see this logo? I think it needs to be the Mets logo with the skyline across the chest and not a black jersey. I think it needs to be a blue jersey with the skyline highlighted in like a orange with the Mets logo. I think that would look nice. Oh, well, I wasn't planning on watching it. Don't worry. I just saw the commercial now. But once again, guys, big double play for the Mets and Givens. 2 good innings for Givens. Again, he's pitched well over the last four or five outings. So nice to see he's pitched better. But this Mets offense better come back because you know what? With Tommy Hunter and Givens basically holding the fort for the most part. Again, you did give up 4 runs to the Marlins, but the Mets had numerous opportunities to get ahead in this game. Let's see if they can do it. Mets down by a run, top of the 8th. McNeil, Alonso, and Naquin. And Okert, the lefty, is in the game.
I don't know what
Still.
happened this year with the schedule. Jeff McNeil's gone over for 3 tonight. Now facing the lefty Stephen Okert, who came in to get the double play ball from Lindor with the bases loaded to end the 7th. And McNeil swings through the fastball, and it's 0-2.
McNeil is
It looks a little different than the last time we saw him.
uppercutting his swing.
Aggressive, throwing strikes.
He's missing balls right down the middle.
Alonso homered his last time up is on deck. Naquin behind him. McNeil, the emergency hack fouls it off.
McNeil with that, there's
Joely Rodriguez is warming up in the bullpen.
McNeil noticed with his hands separated. He went back. When he had the thumb, he separated his hands and he went back. And now to the normal, now he's back a good inch in between.
That's Ty Cobb at the plate.
Come on, Jeff. Staying alive. Well, I don't know if anybody knows this, but Trevor May is not in the bullpen right now. So he's dealing with something, so he's not available. So it could be Lugo. I'm surprised it's not Lugo. But you know, I think there's lefties coming up for the Marlins. I'm not sure. Good eye.
The slider out of the strike zone. It's 1-2.
Yeah, remakes are usually not good. Come on, Jeff.
Tom Mattingly rolled the dice, bringing Tanner Scott into the 7th. Scott hadn't pitched in 9 days because of some back issues. Gave up 2 hits and a walk. They pulled him, and Okert bailed him out.
All right, Jeff staying alive.
The 8th, and McNeil wasting a few pitches away to make him work a little harder. Phillies have gone in front of the Nationals 5-3 in the 8th. Phillies are 2.5 up on the Brewers for the last postseason berth in Milwaukee after sweeping a doubleheader for the Giants yesterday. Down.
Come on, guys, let's get to 100 likes. Make it happen. Let's go. Come on, Jeff.
7th pitch of the at-bat coming to McNeil. And it's
And it hit him. Yes.
McNeil gets
There we go.
the pitch. That's big.
That is huge. I'll take it. I'll take it. All right, Pete. You got another one in you? Hits batsman with a leadoff man. On. Let's go.
Prior to this, and he was fouling off the balls, off the plate away.
He's fine. I hit him in the hip.
But he did not
Barely.
have control coming in.
All right, Pete.
The ball's a good 2 feet
Let's go.
off the plate.
Maybe that home run gave him confidence.
Alonso got a hanging slider from Edward Cabrera and hit it out of the
Pete.
ballpark.
Big spot. Let's go.
His 33rd home run in the 6th inning. Now he faces the lefty Okert.
Oh.
With the time run at first and nobody out in the 8th. And he
Good
takes
eye.
something away, ball 1. High-speed hitting led by Alonso. That rounds up to 116 miles an hour, brought to you by Spectrum Mobile.
Let's go. I love a home run here, but I like that gap in right center right there. I'll take that. The run scores and you put people on base, I'll take it.
Completely open.
Oh, there's the pitch. He missed it.
That's 1-1.
That was the same slider he hit
Loves hitting
in the same spot for a home run. He was a little out in front there,
Tampa.
trying to hit it 600 feet.
That's a
Come on,
common
Pete.
Gainesville. Is it Gainesville or Gainesville? Is it like Louisville?
No, I think it's Gainesville.
Gainesville. No slur.
So, oh, that was a nice pitch.
Catches the inside edge, and it's 1-2 to
That was a nice pitch.
McNeil couldn't put him away.
Look, Alonso's got to hit the ball the other way here. Don't look at a home run here. Get on base. 2 strikes. Just put the bat on the ball.
Interesting to see how that goes after Alonso bats. 1-2 coming. And he
Good eye. He can go.
Slider, and he stopped it
Hey,
in time.
woof.
Shane Leibensberger
Thought he was going to run him there.
First, and it's 2-2. There's Oscar Brazaban under the bullpen for Miami.
Huh. 2-2 to Pete.
Right-handed bats, but
Leadoff hits batsman by
not
McNeil.
really the ones that they'd like to have. Marte is active but not really available. McCann, the backup catcher, Devin Marrero, and then the designated runner, Terrence Gore. Popped it up behind first base. Cooper into foul territory, tracking it. He's got room.
Shit.
He's got it. Dig out for Oker. As Alonso's retired.
Not a good at bat. Well,
So now Nate
this is the situation when you don't have another right-hander on your bench and you use them in the 7th. Now Naquin's got a bat against a lefty.
Naquin has a met against lefties, limited action against left-handers, 1 for 9.
Well, he's 1 for 1.
Overall this year, hitting 173 and 52 at bats against lefties.
Jeez.
Now facing Oakwood with the tying run at first and 1 out.
All right, Tyler, come on. Base it.
Naquin has a home run in his only career at bat against Stephen Oker.
Interesting. 1 for 1, a home run against Okert.
And he lays off the first pitch, slider, ball 1.
This is his 17th game against the Miami Marlins. He's got 5 home runs.
Came into the day as a .345 lifetime hitter against Miami, so it's not a bad spot here for Tyler. 3 on the right side, shortstop hole open. McNeil at first and 1 out. And Naquin goes after the
freaking
slider.
hanger.
This is a 1-1.
That was a big hanger.
This guy can't throw a slider anywhere else but a hanger over the plate.
3 runs, 7 hits. The Marlins 4 runs and 8 hits. We're in the 8th. Braves are about 20 minutes from starting in Seattle. They'll have Charlie Morton tonight against Robbie Ray, 2 hot teams. Naquin swings
Another
the
hanger.
slider and misses, and it's 1-2.
They're going to move the birdie now over to the right side of the infield. You see a lot of that with 2 strikes. You would think that with 2 strikes, a hitter would be more protective of the plate.
Naquin's got to protect here.
Protect. Yeah.
Whole left side is open.
Not today's game.
Good eye.
Upstairs, and it's 2-2. There's Marte with that right finger wrapped. Still not sure if he's going to go on the injured list, but he is worried about tomorrow, and they'll make a decision. 2-2 coming. Out back.
Oh, that was a hanger he missed, but at least he put the bat on the ball that time.
Finger, but it was more toward the tip of the finger. In Marte's case, it's a little further down toward the middle of the finger, which makes it hard for him to grip a ball.
And grip a bat. And he destroys at this ballpark. Loves hitting here.
Of course, he played for the Marlins. This was the Marte reunion tour, but it hasn't really worked out. Pittsburgh, Miami. Inside,
Oh, should have let it hit you.
The slider.
Damn it.
And now it's
Put your elbow in front of it.
Again. So Naquin is hung in there against Oker and worked the count.
It's a good at bat by
Do you dare
Naquin.
to send McNeil in this spot?
I would not.
I'm with you.
Canna on deck. They've got the right-hander ready for him, so this is likely the last batter for Oker.
To the pitcher, I would hold it and throw over just to see.
Short lead for McNeil, not running, and it's swung and missed. Strike 3. Steady dive.
Another hanger.
And Oker finally strikes
That
out
was a
the end
hanger.
of the second out.
They're not good sliders.
Helicopter.
Well, Canna's coming up with 2 out of the tying run at first. They've got the right-hander ready, but it looks like they're going to stay with the lefty.
All right.
Canna has had back
Canna's
splits for
staying.
most of the
He's
year,
up
but
at the
he's made
lefty.
lefties much better lately. But Oker, the more experienced pitcher, and Mattingly's going to
Ryan, I don't know what you're watching, but
Canna's been
the bottom of the lineup for the Mets have been better than the top of the lineup, so it's not over.
He takes back to her slider for a strike, nothing in 1. Canna a base up to center in the second. Since then, he's flied out and fouled out. 1 for 3.
Come on, Mark.
Neil led off the inning, getting hit by a pitch, but Oker has retired Alonso and Naquin. Birdie guarding the line at third. And Canna lights one away.
Oh, that sucks.
A bullet off the bat of
Can't do nothing about that, right? To the shortstop. that ball gets past the shortstop, that's probably going to the gap, probably tying the game. But Mets didn't do anything there. Going to the bottom of the 8th, 4-3 Marlins. No, it's been the bottom of the order or nothing besides Pete Alonso in this game. So in that home run that got him 1 run closer. So the bottom of the order has actually got on base for the big boys, but the big boys didn't get it done. So still remain 4-3, going to the bottom of the 8th, excuse me. Again, the guys that you count on got to get it done. They haven't been getting it done. Alonso didn't put it really good at bat together. Naquin put it good at bat together, but he missed about 3 hangers in that spot right there. So, you put Naquin. Look, again, this is another reason why the Mets done this a lot this year. If Marte's not going to play for 4 or 5 games, put him on the IL. Just backdate it. It makes no sense because you leave yourself, you leave your bench short when you make 1 pitch hit in the 7th. It doesn't help you the rest of the game because you got to leave your lefty in there. I mean, it was key right there. Like I just don't understand it. Like that's the whole idea. It's like you could have put Marte on the IL. You know what? And look, that would have been an opportunity to bring out Vientos, right? Maybe have another right-handed bat off the bench, but you don't have that because Marte is active but can't play. I just don't understand why some teams do that. The Mets have done that a lot this year, especially with Marte. But Mets left a lot of men on base today. Just didn't get it done at the moment. Still got 1 more inning, last licks for them to get it done. Oh, yeah, we all agree about Billy Epler failing at the deadline. There's no doubt about that. Again, we can kill him for the bullpen as much as we want, but, you can look at the fact that he's looking at McGill, he's looking at Peterson for the bullpen, probably even Joey Lucchesi. Well, yeah, he did get Chris Bassett. That was one of the good things that he did, but, I mean, when there's a glaring need for consistent DH bats, and at least another bullpen arm, you didn't do it. I mean, he went another platoon, which doesn't work. All right, Joely Rodriguez in the 8th. Let's see if Joely can do what Givens did and have a good outing. Let's see.
It's been 6 days since Joely last pitched against the Nationals last Saturday. I think Fortes leads off. He's already
Matthew, I agree.
With a single and a double. He's driven on a run and scored a run. Gil Rojas and Charles LeBlanc to follow. Joely falls behind 2-0.
Some fine work behind the plate also for Fortes.
Edwin
Diaz is warming up.
Needed in the Mets bullpen.
He hasn't pitched in a while.
A long time since he's pitched. And Joely finds the inside corner, even though Fortes was jumping out of the way, 2-1. David Peterson was out after 3 2/3, gave up 3 runs. Tommy Hunter gave up a run in an inning and a third. Givens 2 scoreless innings. Top toward third, tough play.
That's gonna be tough.
Clubs and throwing on the run, 2 late. Fortes has his 3rd hit of the night. Escobar got his footwork a little offline that time. Had to stutter step as he got to the ball, and that cost him.
Yeah, the stutter step also didn't allow him to get enough on the throw.
Well, you got to be concerned about the Mets offense. But even with the concern of the Mets offense, they're still in the ball game because of the Mets pitching.
Fortes has shown some good speed in this game.
Offense always turns it around at some point.
One of the faster catchers. So here's Rojas, who already has a pair of doubles and a walk. Let's see if Nagley's inclined to bunt with him with the lower part of the order being.
All right, Joely Rodriguez. Buck is trusting him with righties coming up.
Except he might bunt on his own. We've seen that before.
Rojas is 2 for 2 today.
Rojas trying to find out, and no indication from Rojas as he made through the first. Echo Sports Night comes up after the postgame show. All the reaction on the day in baseball and the big news about the rule changes for next year. The football team's getting ready for Sunday, as is Stevie. Inside to Rojas, ball one.
These darn Marlins, I tell you, they play the Mets tough. They have over the years.
That's it out to right field.
That's gone.
Retreating as Nate
Oh,
Quinn
nope.
get
Sorry
there.
about that, guys.
And he makes the catch. Back to first goes Fortes.
All right, well, one out.
Tagged up.
Interesting.
Had a chance to advance.
That's my fault, guys.
That's
The way he dropped the bat looked like it was gone.
Connor Rogers and Joe DeMayo examine the race for the NL East, plus they discuss what Tyler McGill's role will be when he
Sorry,
returns to
Ethan.
the IL.
I'm sorry. The way he dropped his bat, it looked like it was it looked like it was gone. He hit it hard.
Tyler's last rehab outing will probably be Tuesday, so he could be back by the end of next week.
Let's go, guys. We got almost three more likes to get 100 likes. Let's go. Come on, Joey. Let's go.
Fastball coming out of the bullpen.
Ron, how you doing?
Charles LeBlanc was 0 for 3, and he takes fastball strike from Joe Elliott.
In one of the times earlier, Gary, his whole family came down from Canada to watch him play a series here earlier in the year. You remember that?
This was his debut was here.
Right.
Against the Mets.
Yes. And he had a big series.
Fly ball, well hit, right center field, back in the
That's
gap.
game.
Ball looking up, and it's
Oh, boy.
with his third major league home run.
That is not good. Well, Joely Rodriguez strikes again. Lion, you don't have to keep trolling. Look, we all know the offense hasn't been good. Lion, I think you should worry about the Mariners since you don't think you have to worry about the Mariners. Oh, that's a shot right down the middle. And Joely Rodriguez pointing up to the sky like that's yeah. Well, when you got Lugo and you don't use him in a one-run ball game.
It's a huge crimp in the Mets' comeback chances.
2-run homer to make it 6-3.
Second straight day, the Marlins have scored 6 runs after going nearly 2 weeks without scoring more than 3. In a 6-run outburst against the Phillies last night in Philadelphia to win the last game of that series and snap their 9-game losing streak. And now on the verge of winning 2 in a row.
Well, big hit. Big blow, opposite field. Showing some pop.
I agree with that.
Different game for LeBlanc. We got a guy over, didn't get a guy
once again, you got arrested Lugo. You can use him. You got Lugo in there, and you could use him for 1 inning. I don't understand why Joely Rodriguez is in there. Vincent is a collapse. I don't know why people keep on saying that. It's not a collapse.
Braves and Mariners just a few minutes away from starting in Seattle.
What a young star power in that series.
Lugo was the spot, the guy in this spot. Again, unless Lugo couldn't get warmed up or whatever it is, I don't know.
There's one team of the top 2 candidates for Rookie of the Year in their league. Right? I mean, Michael Harris and Spencer Strider are going to finish 1-2 in some order or other. And if Grissom had been up all year, he'd probably be in the conversation for 1-2-3.
Well, it's not a collapse at all.
It's funny how
Like
last year
you can't be
they
35 games over
traded
500 and be collapsing. That's just idiotic.
And the
You know,
championship this year,
pretty good chance the Mets and the Braves win 100 games. Like that's not a collapse. Like did the Dodgers collapse last year when the Giants won the division? No. Like
I mean, go back and look. The Mets had that 10.5 game lead June 2nd, and the Braves are out of this world since then. And it was just a few days before that they called up Michael Harris for the first time.
well, yeah, it's the point of the fact that the Braves have been historically good. Like that's a run that
2-2 coming.
you don't see often,
Singing outside 3-2.
and they're doing it right now.
In the
So
9th inning,
that's basically it.
Braves will have the opportunity tonight in Seattle to get sole possession of first place.
Probably be the first time since what?
April 12th? One day in April. They were in April 12th, I believe.
And another walk by Rodriguez. This guy's freaking terrible.
So Joely
Tell ya.
Rodriguez having a rough go off it here in the 8th. The infield hit to start the inning. The 2-run homer by LeBlanc.
Well, Kel, they're not scoring at all. Good teams or bad teams. It's a lineup slump. That's the biggest problem. Yeah, but it's still not about the collapse because there's a wild card team. The collapse is 07. That's a collapse. Yeah, I do agree with that, Ken. Joely Rodriguez seems like a favorite of his, using him in these spots when Lugo's available. Like if Lugo wasn't available, okay, you have to use Rodriguez because who else do you really have? Because Trevor May is not available.
Yes, they have one. The tarp is on field at Petco Park.
Well, there is a tropical storm. K is moving up from Mexico.
This guy is absolutely terrible.
And that's what's
yes, the 07's a collapse. This is not. When you're 35 games over 500, and you're probably there's a pretty good chance you're going to win 100 games. There's not a chance. It's a collapse. Ella, that's the bigger problem. You know, I would have thrown Diaz in the 8th. I mean, he hasn't pitched in a month. I think Ottavino's available. They said there was a rested bullpen. So you have Ottavino and Lugo to put in there. JL, that's just a stupid comment. I mean, you can be a Braves fan, but don't say stupid comments. Lion, I think they are. They're young, for sure. Mr. X, it's not like we had a 10.5 game lead in June. You're acting like it was like September. Come on, it's not a collapse. No, Rodriguez is just up. Buck's taking him out. It's about time. And who's he bringing in? Ottavino?
So pitching for the first time in 6 days, Joely Rodriguez didn't have it here at the bottom of the 8th. Gets up the 2-run homer to LeBlanc and then walks to 8 and 9 hitters.
He's bringing Diaz in now. I just don't get it. Here's the problem. If you're going to have Diaz available and ready, why don't you put him in starting the 8th inning? I just don't understand that. That makes no sense. He did this. This is the 3rd time in a week that Buck Showalter did this. Adonis Medina in a 1-run ball game against the Nationals. In Pittsburgh with a 2-run ball game, he puts in Oka. And after that, he brings in his regular relievers. I don't understand that. Like, again, if Diaz was available, which clearly he is, put him in the 8th inning. I just don't understand that. But 6-3 with a 2-run homer, a big 2-run homer for the Marlins to give a 3-run lead. Ethan, I mean, for all we know, Buck Showalter, if he would have remained the Yankee manager, would have still had 4 world championships. So, well, the Yankees are a collapse. Remember, you got to remember, 15.5 games, and it was the All-Star break. That's the end of July. That's a collapse. You can't say a collapse in the middle of the year with a 10-game lead. That's ridiculous. But it's not. Oh, Ricky, they're going to use Diaz tomorrow. Again, it's not like they're using him for a save situation for 2 innings. JL, they shouldn't rest Diaz. That doesn't even make sense. He's been rested for 10 days. Again, the point that I was making is that if you're going to use Diaz anyway, start him off in the 8th inning. Why start him off now when basically it's pointless? And Cal, what is the point? I know who the Mets played. Do you see around the league what teams are losing to? Like the Cardinals are losing to the Nationals, right? The Pirates are beating the Brewers.
Baltimore. Oh, Flacco against Baltimore. Wow. Well, Edwin Diaz hasn't pitched in more than a week.
Well,
Showalter wanted to get him to the game, which I guess begs the question:
why not bring him in and start the inning?
Why not have him start the inning? It sounds like second guessing now with.
Okay, Mr. X, I want you to listen. All right, 10.5 game lead since June 1st. That's half a season. Lion, will I be rooting for Seattle? Of course. But even if the Braves win today, It's a half a game. There's no reason why the Mets can't take first place over in 2 days. Cal, the Mets are not in trouble. The Mets are making the playoffs. Cal, you want to troll? Cute. I like how people do that.
6-3 game now. He's facing John Birdie with 2 on. Birdie swings and misses at the
That I agree.
down quickly for the second out of the inning.
All right, Mr. X, I understand that. I get it.
I see the devil's advocate argument is you're down in the game if Diaz goes out has a 30-pitch inning, which makes it
The Braves do dominate lesser teams. But the reason why you haven't been in first place all year is because you haven't dominated good teams. Alan, I don't agree with that.
This way, bringing him in the middle of the inning, he's likely to throw fewer pitches.
Yeah, Mr. X, you can say whatever you want with that, but it's not true at all.
But I think the
Yeah, exactly. The Brave fans show up all of a sudden. It's like I love for the same thing when the Mets face the Braves and the Mets are beating the Braves. The Braves are nowhere. The Brave fans are nowhere to be found.
It's not just that the
Nice
Mets
pitch.
only a half game up and could be a half game down tomorrow. It's that they're going to be in the postseason anyway.
Congratulations. Does that mean anything in the playoffs? No.
Push in September and how much
And the Mets beat the Dodgers in a series. So what's the difference?
It's a tough call. Grounded toward third, forced play at third for Escobar.
All right, out of the inning. Cal, you invested in my channel, so thank you for the view. That's obviously a stupid comment. Yeah, great. The Optics second place Mets. Congratulations. There's still 23 games to go for the Mets to take back first place. Again, can the Braves actually win tonight before you talk about second place? Yes, June 1st is the half a season. April, May, June. Let's see. August, right? July, August, September. 3 plus 3 is 6, right? That's half a season. It took a half a season to catch up to a 10.5 game lead. But congratulations. Okay, bro, yay. Okay, Cal, let's listen. Who has the best record? The Braves. What does that mean? Absolutely nothing. I just don't get it. Cal, are you a Braves fan, you a Mets fan, or probably a Yankees fan? I'm curious. Because I haven't seen you in my channel before, and you're a troll because that's what you do. But see, Cal, this is the problem that some people have. Everybody knows the Braves have the best record since June 1st. And it took them to September 9th to catch them. Oh, wait, by the way, they didn't catch the Mets yet, by the way. They didn't pass them yet. They still have to win tonight. Cal, my team sucks. Okay. A 35 games over 500 team sucks. Interesting. JL, we know that. I mean, you're telling facts that we just don't get it. I'm not minimizing blown lead, but it's a blown lead over a half a season, not a month. Yeah, have the Mets have lost their edge? Absolutely. All right, so top of the ninth, Mets down by 3.
Third of the order due up. Dylan Flora will come on to try and save it for
No, Cal, you just like to troll. Let me see. Where were you all this time when the Mets were in first place? You don't show up.
5 runs, 28 Ks, ERA under 2. Bunch of defensive changes for the Marlins. Lewin Diaz will come into play first base. John Birdie moves from third base to second base. Joey Wendell comes in to play third base.
Yep, I already saw it.
J.J. Bleday will play left field, but Showalter needs an update on his lineup card from Chad Fairchild about where everybody's going to be hitting.
Good start by the Braves.
Delay Floro slightly. Good game.
Well, who hit the home run?
For Ruff, Escobar, and Nino.
I think it just happened because I just saw it change.
Ruff grounded out as a pinch hitter in the DH spot.
So Ruff is leading off.
1 for his last 28.
Could the Mets come back from a 3-run deficit? I don't know.
And throws first pitch sinker that misses inside for ball 1.
Okay, Cal. My comprehension skills. I mean, what are you, like 12 years old? Because you got Superman logo, so you must be a cute little basement guy, right? That's what it probably is. Ground ball to short. Well, that's the difference, Alan, for sure. The Mets left a ton of men on base, like they have been for 2 weeks. Absolutely. Swanson, one of my favorite players, hitting a 2-run homer. Matthew, they did. I know I'm a Mets fan. I'm glad you noticed. And I can assure you I'm not 5. I mean, could you have a real conversation and not troll people? Babies troll. Babies troll.
The Mets have the easiest schedule in baseball, but that means nothing if you don't win the games. They lost 2 out of 3 to the Nationals. They dropped the opener of their series to Pittsburgh before rebounding to take the next 2. And now they're in danger of losing the opening game of their series here in Miami. And the Braves, if they do, will have the opportunity to leapfrog them and go
Who knows, JD?
by themselves.
My main concern right now with the Mets is Marte.
I think you have to think that he's not going to be available, Keith. I mean, that's how I see it.
I mean, I would be surprised based on where he was today.
Well, I'm glad you can't type English. That's cute.
So you will play some important games here without Marte and without Scherzer.
1-2 coming. Just swing foul. Well, it was certainly a good sign to see people.
You don't be happy for a wild card team. Today. But again, it's 23 games left, guys. We're not even out of first place yet. Like, relax. And even if we are, we still got 23 games to come back and catch them.
Tying run to third, hit into a double play to end the inning. They've had some hard hit balls at people, but nonetheless, overall, this offense for the last 3 weeks has not played at the level they expected. Escobar skies one to center
Should
field.
be 2 outs.
And De La Cruz comes in under it. 2 out.
Again, you're on my channel trolling. How am I pathetic when you're the baby trolling when you could just sit back and enjoy the ride? Because you still haven't said what fan you are. What fan base? Are you a Braves fan? Or I don't know what you are because you haven't said it. Are you afraid to say it? Because you better hope the Braves win the division. Well, we should never rely on another team to win. You have to win yourself. And the Mets haven't provided that. No. I talk. I read your comments. You're trolling. If you come on the channel and talk nonsense, you're trolling. That's what it's called. Look at the definition. I mean, you're probably like 12. You're enjoying the ride. You're probably not a Braves fan. I mean, what were you, a Braves fan started in 2021? I don't block people. He hasn't cursed. He hasn't said anything nasty. Could be the end of the game. Ball game is over. The Mets lose 6-3 with basically a terrible offensive performance. Once again, I said it in the beginning of the game that don't get too excited about the offense that they had against Pittsburgh because of the bad pitching that Pittsburgh has, and they showed it here. Good pitching by the Marlins. Not clutch with bases, with people on base. The Mets left a ton of men on base today, and that's the reason why they are not winning a ball game today. Exactly what happened here. Once again, guys, the Mets lose 6-3. First game in Miami goes to the Marlins. Looking what the Braves are doing right now, they are losing 2-0. But I'm not angry. Why would I be angry? Life goes on. Again, you came on my channel 4 hours later to come and troll. If you're a man, you would have came the whole game. Yeah, chop on. The most racist team in baseball. It's all right. Congratulations. Hopefully you win tonight and you're in first place for one day yet again. It's all right. Cal, I haven't seen you all year on my channel. Now, you were probably sitting back in your basement watching the stream and everything. So congratulations on a 2-0 lead so far. Again, Cal, please come back every day on the channel. Please do that, because you show up only when things are good for you. It's cute. National Pirates. Okay, let's see. The Phillies. Congratulations. You can't beat the Phillies. Hey, Jeffrey, they're all front runners. Trust me, they are. They're more concerned about Georgia Bulldog football than they are about the Braves. Cal, enjoy your day. Hopefully you have a good day. Come to my channel every single day. Be a man every single day. I will be here. I promise you that. Every single day. And I will not block you because you haven't said a bad word. You haven't said nothing racist. Please come to my channel every single day. And don't sit back and wait until the Mets are losing. Come in the beginning of a channel when the stream starts, and we'll have some fun. Put it that way. So Mets lose 6. Wrong what? What are you talking about? Okay, whatever. I don't talk to children. Yo, wait, it's past your bedtime too. So there's school tomorrow. You should you got Saturday school because you're retarded. So the Mets lose 6-3. Remember, guys, it's 23 games left. And then he has to say names. Fat boy. I'm glad I'm fat. Thank you. I appreciate that. I can guarantee you would never say that to my face, you piece of shit. Once again, guys, 6-3. Marlins beat the Mets. See you guys Saturday and Sunday. I cannot come on the stream because I told you I'm going to Golf Island with my dad. I will see you next time and see what the Braves do. They are winning 2-0 the last I checked. Still 2-0, I believe. Let's see. Yes. Still 2-0. And we'll see what happens tomorrow with the Mets. See if they can come back and do some damage and try to win a series. They came back in the Pirates series. Let's see if they can do that with the Marlins. Shitty loss. They played terrible. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Once again, guys, I'll see you guys next time. Okay, Cal, I don't know what you're talking about. So I'll see you next time. Everybody have a good night. Tough loss for the Mets once again. Offense got to get going or things will not change. See you guys next time. Everybody have a good night. Let's go Mets.